The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is 412 Day!
Yeah!
How yins doing out there? This sports show begins right now.
Yeah!
Can't thank you enough for joining us. Yes, it is April 12th, 412 Day. You know, the beautiful city that we... a few of us, I guess.
Sure.
Hail from. Very lucky to be from Pittsburgh. The grit that is automatically, just digested into your body from growing up in those beautiful hills is something that'll carry you for the rest of your life. I'm very lucky to be from Pittsburgh. I'm very lucky to celebrate this 412 Day. And I'm also very lucky to not have to work for a network that tells me to get rid of my fucking Yinzer accent, because for far too long, the Yinzer people, the Yinzer speak, have been kind of pressed to the bottom of the floor saying, hey, you can't speak like that on this particular network. Actors have to change the way they speak. Speakers change the way they have to speak. But for us, we're a bunch of dumb Yinzers that get to say Dahn literally every single day. And we are very lucky to do so. Shout out to Pittsburgh, a city that never gets enough love.
Shout out Pittsburgh.
Now, there's a lot that obviously could be fixed in Pittsburgh. I'm not saying it's a perfect city, but goddamn, it is a great city to be from. At Tone Diggs over there, Hammer Dahn host. Nice Yinzer holiday here. What are you doing to celebrate? Anything sweet, pal?
Well, first and foremost, I'm celebrating host Wagner, one of the greatest buccos of all time, probably number 2 behind Clemente.
That's on his chest right there.
Oh, that's who that is.
Jason Kendall's number 3. Jason Kendall number 3.
What about Doc Ellis?
Well, Doc was
Doc's
great
a great
as well.
pitcher.
Jim
World Series
Leland.
champion. Greatest
Sean
manager.
Casey and Mayor also.
Yeah. Right. So it's opening day at PNC Park, one of the actual most beautiful park in MLB. And the Pirates and the Pens are also going to get a W day. It's going to be a great day in 412.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a great 412 Day. The boys here at the Talks table, at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Now, much like most things in this show's existence, we knew it was 412 Day a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, yeah.
And we decided to ship in some Turner's tea and really chipped ham and Permani sandwiches and Rudy subs. We did all of those things. So I can't wait for you boys to get to enjoy those after the show. I mean, Ty, I'm sure you knew nothing about Pittsburgh before you met us. Now you've got a chance to go there a few times. Not a bad city.
No, not at all. And you're right. I mean, growing up, especially in like the Midwest, like the Pittsburgh accent wasn't really anything that you knew about until I met you guys. And now, just by association, a lot of ots, a lot of dons. I mean, that just...
Stooge.
Stooge. Sell-out. So, I mean...
Just words falling out of your mouth.
Yeah, it's the best, though. And I love Pittsburgh. It is a beautiful city. I don't think it gets enough credit when you talk about, like the big metropolises around the U.S. Pittsburgh's awesome.
We're much smaller than Philadelphia, but we're very vastly different, too, I believe. At Nick Moraldo in the back, another, diehard Yinzer stooge out here. Nick, how come for so long Pittsburgh was always depicted as a terrible place? I mean, you even look at the Goodfellas or whatever. It's like, don't do business with the people from Pittsburgh. Did business with the people from Pittsburgh, ended up in some deep shit, actually. Pittsburgh always kind of painted in that fashion. Even when Donnie Iris was taking over the entire globe, it was always
Donnie.
buried. In the Pittsburgh Penguins' greatest hockey franchise program to ever exist. The greatest organization ever. Much better than any other fucking hockey town. We are hockey town. How come it never gets enough credit, Frankie boy?
Well, Pat, I think when you live outside those 3 rivers and you look down in there, I think a lot of people have a lot of envy in their eyes, and they want to come up with theories, and they want to come up with spins and narratives to bring us down. The great people of Pittsburgh, the blue-collar, hard-working, crafty individuals. It's really quite disgusting, to be honest. But, we've overcome. We've risen above, and we will continue to pursue greatness.
No, the city of Steel is the mother of all your cities.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that, but
Well,
So I can say bring them home.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, the steel wasn't
first.
Not a whole lot of
They'd still be
big
wooden.
skyscrapers in Iowa.
Yeah, but that fucking John Wayne
Machinery.
Gacy.
True.
Yeah,
KFC.
whatever you guys
What do you
have
think
out there.
Deere builds their fucking tractors out of?
Yeah, huh, pal? who birthed John fucking Deere.
Well, I don't know
Pittsburgh.
about that.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
welcome.
know about that. We'd have to look into
How
that.
about that? Oh, we're from the Motor City. Oh, okay.
there
You're
you go.
welcome. We will allow our children to go work in your city and let you become something.
Look, I'll let you guys have your day today. I love Pittsburgh, too. I love Pittsburgh so much. I actually sent $200 to the Pittsburgh casino as a thank you.
Today?
Yes, I did. All right.
Every single time you go back to Pittsburgh, you stop by Rivers, you're going to lose your money.
Every time.
Okay, there's no winners walking out of that casino other than Nick's dad, Frank.
Oh yeah.
And he,
Quite well,
and he hits on the slots every once in a while, but none of us are playing the
But he's
slots.
paid his dues, you know?
Yeah.
The casino knows if you live there full time or if you're an out of towner. If you're an out of towner, you're getting your money taken.
Yeah, by the way, shout out Pittsburgh.
Shout out Pittsburgh.
Great city.
Anyways, Pittsburgh Penguins going to beat the fuck out of the Islanders tonight, without Geno Malkin, number 2 player in the world,
Yikes.
because he cross-checked somebody right in the fucking teeth when he threw a little tantrum, okay? So he's suspended for 4 games. The Islanders might get a win, but it's 4-on-2 day. Sidney Crosby ain't going to let the boys lose.
Not a
I don't
chance.
know. I thought about that on the Big Ben day, but hey, it's a different day.
What's that all about?
I'm just saying.
It's 4-on-2 day right now, dude.
I know.
We're
I-
not looking back.
We're distracted by greatness.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. We thought that was a lock, and all of a sudden they stunk, and now we don't have Malkin on the ice tonight. I mean, I'm worried that there might be a little
How's
cement in the
Pasta
skates.
doing, you scumbag?
Pasta skated 3 days ago, so I'm not worried about Pasta at all. Plus, the Red Sox got a massive tilt today. I told everybody in here, hey, if you want to make some money, you put the entire village on the Boston Red Sox today because they might beat the Detroit Tigers 50-0 But hey, it's 4-1-2 day.
How do we know? How do we know that?
I mean, the Tigers just beat him yesterday.
Exactly, and that's how we know.
Makes no sense.
And that's how we know. 'Cause right there,
Absolutely makes no
because,
sense.
I mean, Detroit is Boston's kryptonite strictly because it is such a dumpy city that we play down to it. You know what I mean? We play up to our good opponents, and then we roll into this absolute shithole Detroit, and we say, I guess we have to suck in the
Too
fumes
soft.
and just stink.
Listen, Detroit's a great city.
Yeah, but
Great city.
there's no 4-1-2 day for Detroit. I mean, Boston's got a 6-1-7 day, but Detroit just has every day's a dump day.
June
3-1-3.
17th, you guys do it? What happened?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, everyone just, they go out, they get their Dunkin'. I'm pretty sure they do half off iced coffees on that
Wow.
day. They do a couple free munchkins, maybe a donut or 2. But that's just 6-1-7 day. I want to celebrate you guys today.
No, that's very nice because I was about to say, wow, making this all about yourself.
No, opposite. Hey, from one Rust Belt guy to the other. I understand more than most.
I don't think Boston's in the Rust Belt.
I believe actually when we had the Rust Belt photo, it was in Massachusetts.
I do not.
Yep,
think-
bring it up. I remember this very specifically.
Detroit was in the Rust Belt. Ohio was in the Rust Belt.
And then just this little itty bitty Rust Belt in the north.
So it was
which is
like
Massachusetts.
off of the belt? It
Yes.
was off the
Yeah. Well, that's
Really?
because everything stemmed from.
So it's not a
Massachusetts.
belt anymore.
It was a territory.
Yeah.
You guys are like just
Boom.
like a little earring up
There
there?
ain't nothing Rust Belt about sailing yachts, okay?
Yeah,
I don't
you're,
look,
you're in your boat crew.
Hey, look. Massachusetts as a state is Rust Belt. Sure.
Boston.
I got to live a nice little life childhood growing up. Sue me. What do you want? What do you want from me? You want me to change my childhood? Pick different parents? I can't. Okay.
Don't look at
Sorry,
me.
we have it at the yacht club.
Jesus.
But also, you can't just claim then that,
The Rust Belt.
Rust Belt's in Massachusetts. Hey, sorry. We're part of it.
You're apologizing for a lot now.
Well, that's just because I don't want to, take away from your guys'
All right,
day.
let's
I'm
talk
just
about some
saying.
stuff happening. I don't.
Boom. Boom. Thank you, Rust Belt, Massachusetts.
What? I don't know. Maybe I don't know New England well enough.
See that green right there?
The Rust Belt is not green though. It was literally the brown. Like the color of
Revitalized Rust Belt area. Boom. Boston, Massachusetts. Basically everything in Massachusetts.
What is that?
You see where there's
rust.
no green?
Revitalized.
Yeah.
What the fuck
How
is
does that
that?
work?
We brought it back.
Pittsburgh's revitalized too.
No. They're just.
no.
They're just.
Real Rust
no,
Belt.
they're red.
Yeah, those are cities that after the steel industry boom ended, the city decided to then go into other industries and survive instead of dying.
Oh,
No,
survive.
they needed to bring it to a state that would keep it alive.
How about
Like
Ohio?
Massachusetts.
Look at fucking Ohio, by the way.
Dead.
And this is why whenever you talk about an Ohio guy, you know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
Okay, whenever you meet somebody from Ohio, you know exactly. It's AJ Hawk, just in a different form.
Yeah.
Whatever form that, if that's a extrovert, it's AJ Hawk is an extrovert.
Right.
If it is an introvert, it's AJ Hawk. Other than that, that is what Ohio is. They might say less, they might say more, but you know what you're getting with an Ohio person. By the way, nothing but respect. And I think the reason why is because of this graphic.
Yeah.
Great fucking here.
Imagine how much greater this fucking city would have been if it would have just adopted what every city around it was doing.
What are you talking about?
I mean, Indianapolis is not in the fucking Rust Belt.
Oh, shit.
Damn it.
Fort Wayne.
Does it go around it?
Yeah, it's a bunch of
It
bullshit.
does appear as
dude.
if it goes above it and then cuts down. Nah. So what happens? Somebody who's real tough walked around town to town and said yes or no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think so.
They're like, seems like there used to be. Seems like it really
place
used to be
is
tough.
great.
Kind of revitalized though. So it's a revitalized Rust Belt area.
There's also not enough Italians in Indy to be Rust Belt.
Yeah, I think that isn't it. You probably track the Italians too through this.
Real tough break for that small part of Ohio at the southern tip there. It did not make it.
Yeah, they're absolute bitches down there. I'm not positive, but that's just what I've heard.
Think about the person that was declaring if it was a Rust Belt area or not, going all the way down there, and then as soon as walked into like that county, was like, nah, they don't deserve it. They don't get it. What a life. Happy 412 day.
Had 412 there.
By the way, John Deere did have a contract with Pittsburgh Steel. So.
There you go.
You're welcome. Hey, Iowa, you're welcome. You're welcome, Iowa. I'm happy we could be a part of that. Look at us working together.
Nice.
Look at us working together for a long haul.
What do you know? America.
You guys get all the glitz and glamour. We'll do all the hard work behind it. You know what I mean? You guys
don't-
put your paint on it.
Don't let the
do your little
fucking farmer.
shine.
Don't let the farmers hear you say that.
No.
They'll be up in arms.
No,
Yeah.
not the farmers. We're talking about John Deere itself, the
Okay,
company.
all right.
The farmers, by the way. I feel like that's a whole different, right? I feel like the Rust Belt and then the farmers, what is that, agricultural?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Grain
yeah.
belt.
Grain Belt,
Yeah.
I have more farmer friends than people would expect.
Yeah.
And more than I would expect, to be honest. I've learned a lot about it. What a fucking attention to detail gig that has.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to be like the most consistent person of all time.
Good people.
Yeah, but you have to be so consistent. Like this is
yeah.
what you got to do.
Every day.
This is what you got to do next. This is what you got to do next.
Russell Wilson, pig farmer.
Boom. He has the farmer mentality. The whole, because the time's a year and then the weather, you're
Yes.
fucking playing
Oh,
games.
yeah.
Let alone if you have, like I have some friends that have some, some chickens, some livestock, things like that.
Right.
Having to be a vet too at certain different
Oh,
times
yeah.
while you do that whole thing. So I assume the agricultural.
What do farmers do in the winter?
Farm, dude.
Yeah,
Raise
farm.
cattle.
Yeah, cows are still around and animals are still around.
Yep.
They're
That's
still
vacation
doing-
time.
Take care of them.
I don't know if they take vacations.
No.
Honestly, they're so wealthy too, those motherfuckers, and they hate it. I think they hate like doing
Oh, yeah.
anything that you would spend your money on for people to enjoy.
Yeah, very frugal. And also, like, when you're waking up at like the crack of dawn every single day, like, I don't think you ever really get out of that. Like they're not taking vacations.
So I'd like to let everybody know, not as the voice of the Rust Belt Police, okay, although I do got calluses on my hands.
And pinky ring.
And I do have a pinky ring, so I'm a bit Italian. And I can float gears if I had to and all
Sure.
that stuff. We have nothing but the utmost respect for the agricultural community.
Absolutely.
The people we were shitting on directly was the people at John Deere who just took our metal and fucking spray painted a little bit and did their thing to the thing.
Yikes.
You know what I mean? That's who I'm
Good
talking.
businessman.
And by the way, shout out to John Deere, by the way, getting the best deal in town.
Thank you, John
right.
Deere.
Not well situated in regard to transportation and resources. Deere sold his interest in the shop to Andrus in 1847 and moved to Moline, Illinois. There he began using imported English steel with great success and soon negotiated with Pittsburgh manufacturers for the development of comparable steel plate. By 1857, Deere's annual output of plows had risen to 10,000.
Hell yeah.
That's where it went down.
Look at that. Whenever, Pittsburgh came together with John
Yeah.
Deere, everything started working out better for him.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was getting steel from the Queen and said, "Fuck this! I'm done with this bullshit. Let's go to Pittsburgh." And look where we're at now.
Two of the great families.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
America.
Negotiating with Pittsburgh and the Queen, two great families.
No, Deere and Pittsburgh.
Oh, dear, Pittsburgh. Got it. Imagine negotiations with the Queen went much differently than the Pittsburgh steel folks.
Yeah.
How much you gonna give us? Fuck yeah, we'll take that. Pittsburgh. How many plows you guys selling? Yeah, all right, cool. We just want a percentage on every one of those too, and let's keep it moving. Shout out to 412 Day.
Shout out.
We got Sham Charania joining us for 4 minutes. Thought we'd be able to extend that conversation for a full 20 because, to be honest, in the football world, the world that we know a lot about, there ain't really jack shit to talk about. No. Carson Wentz, I guess nobody else is bidding for his services, and that is coming from one source that told one person on NBC Sports Edge, I believe. Nobody bid against Washington for Carson Wentz. More quotes were found in the article. We kind of scoured through it a little bit. The one executive said, if you were to ask people for Taylor Heineke's salary and Heineke and 2 more third-round picks, or Carson Wentz and $30 million, and a lot of people around the NFL would have said, give us Heineke. Another executive, I guess, said, we would have much rather had Baker Mayfield's salary and whatever less picks we would have had to give up than Carson Wentz. Now, I am not saying that because I am a person that had to watch Carson Wentz play last year and talked about how, it's probably the right time for us both to move on. I am only speaking about this because it does seem to be a bit notable that the Commanders probably got fleeced a little bit here.
Yeah.
So if nobody else was really bidding for Carson Wentz, they took on the entire salary and gave up some picks. That's a fascinating thing. Good for Chris Ballard working that entire angle. But also Carson Wentz hears this and knows, all right, here's another chip on his shoulder. And maybe, just maybe, Carson understands after this entire voyage, the village that you're putting on Boston Red Sox over the Detroit Tigers today. And this entire voyage through Carson Wentz's life, maybe he has got to the point where it's like, all right, I got to play like smarter football because this is my actual last shot. And now I'm reading and hearing, allegedly, we don't know what executives are talking to executives, by the way. You can get 5 executives that maybe don't talk to the other fucking 27 teams that can speak out of line or out of pocket. But Carson, hopefully, this is like a reminder, like, hey, this is probably your last opportunity to do a damn thing, Carson. Just be a little bit smarter with your football, with your body, with the way you go about your business. Right. And let's not sprain both ankles on one fucking play while also trying to throw an interception. Okay, we're trying to win a fucking Super Bowl. So maybe his great points will become much more consistent than those scary ones after reading and hearing even more about the bullshit being said about him.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a Colts fan, I'd be jacked up because it does kind of seem like they had to do whatever they needed to do to get rid of him, and no one was going to take him, and they got a pretty fucking sweet deal for getting rid of Carson.
Chris Ballard with that Texas accent. Hey, listen, boys, we got a couple other people on the line. If you want to get Carson, you're going to have to take that whole salary. Oh, you don't want to? All right, no big deal. We'll call this other team that already gave us his offer. And Chris Ballard's just sitting there like, please, God, take the bait. Please, God. And then bang, it happens. He had to be so elated, so excited. And Jim Irsay, after everything he said, it feels like he's pretty excited as well. It's not because they don't like Carson Wentz as a person. We don't know if that's the case. But we just know that the Indianapolis Colts organization has a high expectation for the quarterback position. And that is because the Colts have been blessed with incredible quarterbacks for a very long time. Every team is looking for a quarterback in the NFL since the history of the NFL. This is the home of Unitas, Manning. You're talking about 2 of the greats of all time. Jim Irsay watched firsthand, grew up in the locker room when Unitas was playing. Then he was the GM. Then he's the owner who inevitably gets Bill Polian and drafts Peyton Manning and watched a front row seat for that. So Jim Irsay has a super high expectation on how you operate as an NFL quarterback. And after watching Carson Wentz for 1 year, it sure did seem like Jim Irsay was like, I'm not doing this again, brother. Yeah. I am not doing this. Is not what we want. Maybe it'll work for the Commanders, though.
Yeah, but it's kind of crazy, the ripple effect it might have. If Terry McLaurin goes out and Carson absolutely stinks, is he going to re-sign so he can continue to play with Carson Wentz? And even worse, if Carson doesn't play well and they, cut his ass or something, because I think he has an opt-out after next season, is Terry going to want to come back and play with a rookie quarterback or he could go somewhere else, pick where he wants to play?
Hey, flip side.
Yeah.
What if Carson balls, dude?
True.
What if he takes command?
Yeah.
He could. What if he takes command?
He could take command.
What if Scary Terry becomes his guy? He and Carson just high-fiving each other in their mustard-colored sport coats. Of course. Just living their best life.
So the whole article was talking about, would you have Carson or whatever for the $28 million or Heineke for the $2 million? I think that was the sentiment that we talked about originally as soon as it happened in this office. And I didn't even think about Baker, for the 16 or 18 million or whatever. And then it's still having the 10 million and then potentially some draft picks. But I mean, if Carson doesn't work out this year, then Carson's probably not going to play in the NFL again.
Well, there's a lot of other leagues he can prove himself.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. But Carson's getting a real opportunity here, getting paid a lot of money. And I hope this is the moment that Carson looks in the mirror. And this is just like with the Bengals fans. The Bengals fans that were attacking me for talking about not having an indoor practice facility. Like, hey, I'm trying to fucking help you out. All right. This is not a knock on the fans. The fans are loyal, passionate. They pay their tickets. They had a lot of years there where it wasn't great. Had some teams, never went on a run. But I'm like talking for them whenever I say, like, hey, the indoor, it's 2022. Like, fucking, let's go. The guys should be able to get extra work in the middle of a blizzard if they want to go get extra work in. If your team wants to work more and get better, they should be able to do that. I'm not saying you shouldn't practice outside, okay? You have to practice outside in the NFL to get better. But there is, numerous times where me and a lot of other people in the off season and off hours are in that indoor practice facility. In Indiana, we get like 35-mile-an-hour winds. So it's like, can I work on fucking anything in 35-mile-an-hour winds in my profession? I could, working on punting in 35-mile-an-hour conditions, but that might only be one game out of the 17. There might be some technical shit I want to get some work in. Okay, I'm going to go in the indoor practice facility. Let's say it's raining, heavily rain, which it does happen in Cincinnati and Indianapolis. Like, if a wide receiver wants to go run some extra routes and work on some stuff, he should be able to go somewhere and fucking do that. It's the NFL. It's the top of the league. So every time I was talking about that, I feel like I was sticking up for the fans, even though some of the fans were attacking me for saying this. Now they're getting an indoor practice facility. Shout out to the Bengals. Shout out. Congrats to the fans. Congrats to the Bengals. Congrats to everything. Whenever we talk about Carson, and I say, like, hey, he's so great. He's so great whenever he's playing good. He just has those moments where he's terrible. Like, I'm not burying Carson. I hope this is something that Carson sees. Like, hey, I think I'm speaking for a lot of people whenever I say this. Like, he has the chance to be great. But goddamn, Carson Wentz is going to Wentz in the middle of a game when you don't expect it. And that's tough, I'd assume, for some people to fully commit and trust. And I think that's what happened with Indianapolis Colts.
Well, and that's the thing about the football team or the Commanders. It's like the
whoa.
Excuse me. The Colts are, like, as a football team, are stacked. Like, it's not as if he's going to a better offensive line or a better running back or a better defense. Like, that's why I think the perspective on it's like, hey, this might be an absolute train wreck.
Now, with that being said, if he goes on and kills it, Jim Irsay probably looks like an idiot. Now, granted, Jim Irsay had to cut Peyton Manning because Andrew Luck was sitting there, and Peyton Manning broke a bunch of records and won a couple Super Bowls. So Jim Irsay's been there before. But I hope Carson works out for the Commanders. I'm excited to see how Matt Ryan goes here. But that was fascinating to hear that people thought that there was zero other market for him, because what does that mean for every other quarterback that's allegedly being talked about right now? We shall see. Let's pivot to tonight. Big time.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Big time to be an NBA person, because the most exciting NBA games of all time take place and start tonight. Play-in games to get into the tourney. Although we will have another season of T4 talking about the NBA playoffs in that particular tournament. Joining us now is our inside man. From the Stadium and the Athletic, on Thursday he'll be going live right in the middle of our show on Stadium's Twitter. But it'll be an incredible show because he's a part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, Sham Charania.
Yo.
Hey, you look cool today.
No, it's great seeing you, Pat. I haven't seen you since before the WrestleMania. How did it go? What was that like? I saw you killed it. You were doing your thing.
Hey, I was sore. I was hungover. It was awesome though. Everybody was incredibly nice to me, other than Vince McMahon punted a football through my rib cage.
Yeah.
I mean, hit the point of the football right into my ribs. I thought I was going to have a fracture, couple of them. Thought I was going to have to wrap it. Found out just lost my air. I couldn't breathe, so that's why he pinned me. And then obviously I was drinking beers with Steve, Sean, and that was a blast. And as a kid, I knew everybody he drank beers with basically ended the same way. But I thought maybe it could be different. We're in a new era, new time. Cheers. I get stunned into oblivion, but it was a blast. It was a blast. Everything was great. Thanks for asking. How are you doing? This is now time that NBA matters.
I'm good.
This is good.
I'm good. Play-in tournaments tonight. You got Nets, Cavs, Minnesota Clippers. So play-in tournament. I mean, the league, I think they won overall. Last year you had LeBron, Steph Curry in the play-in tournament. This year you have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, LaMelo Ball. In the Western Conference, Paul George. I don't expect Zion to be a part of this. I know you guys are big Zion Williamson. This is the Zion Williamson show right here. So unfortunately, I don't expect him to be a part of this. But overall, I think there are I think it's going to be an amazing week for these playing games. For
Okay,
sure.
so there's 2 games tonight, 2 games tomorrow, then the day off, then there's 2 games on Friday. Everything's happening. Excited for the NBA. Let's talk about tonight and the Stars. There's a report coming out now that Kevin Durant allegedly, whenever James Harden showed up at training camp out of shape, was perturbed by that or something. And that's when this entire disagreement between James Harden and the Nets happened. That led, obviously, to the Ben Simmons trade to the Nets, which you were on top of before anybody else. Is this all bullshit right now? Why are these stories coming out now? Is it because James Harden and the Sixers seem not to be working out and Doc Rivers might be going to the Lakers, so they're trying to kind of build on that story and blow it up? Or how do you feel about all this that's coming out right now, day of playing games?
Yeah, I to be honest, I didn't even see it. So I gotta after I'm done here, I gotta go check that out. But I think there were a few factors that led to James Harden being out. Right? I think we discussed it several times. I think the crux of it was, one, James himself did not want to be in Brooklyn long term, right? So that was one. And two, just the way that the season unfolded, the way that the offense, and James Harden has always played in a system where the ball was in his hands. He was able to do whatever really he wanted. And I think the flow of the Nets offense was different when he was in the game and he was in the lineup versus when he was off the floor. And I know for the coaching staff, there was always frustration because they had 2 different game plans. One when James Harden was in the lineup, and on the floor, and one when he's not. And it's always difficult for any player, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, to deal with that.
Hey, quick there. Did they just assume he was going to be able to change his style of play for that? And did they both parties think that it was going to work out, and then it just wasn't, and they just had to stare that down?
Yeah, I mean, I think overall that when James got there, I think everyone kind of assumed that it might be easy, right? Like James Harden, it's clear that he's wanted to go get a championship, right? And I'm not going to call him a ring chaser with what he's doing, right? Because I think his goal is to try to win. But when you force your way out of Houston, you go to Brooklyn. That situation isn't working out. And I think what Kevin Durant said recently, guys, I think that was notable was like the season for the Nets really changed when he got hurt. Because if he's in the lineup in January, I don't think the James Harden trade happens. I think because the Nets are playing a lot better. And when you're winning and you're doing well on the court, it's a different game, right? Winning cures everything. And I think that, unfortunately, when Kevin Durant got hurt, they started losing. And by the time, James Harden, has that 4-point game in Sacramento where a lot of the players on that Nets team felt that James Harden had quit on them. And when you're dealing with a guy that you feel quit on you, and then he misses 2 more games, the writing was on the wall. He was out of there. And listen, I don't think he came into camp the best of shape from the people in Brooklyn perspective. But I don't look at that as the primary reason.
Okay, James Harden, obviously, we're big fans of because of how he just kind of operates as a human. He's his own, and we're always big fans of that. But Kevin Durant's a fucking dog. I mean,
he's a monster.
Kevin Durant is a dog.
He's on another level right now.
Yeah, he's the guy. So he's balling right now. Kyrie's playing well. Ben Simmons is coming back. They're about to go on a fucking run right now, huh?
Ben Simmons is, and that's going to be the game changer, right? If you're able to get Ben Simmons back in your lineup, and he is, I'm told, very, very confident that he'll be able to make a return at some point in this first-round series. And I think games 1 and 2 of the Boston series, if the Nets win tonight, they play Boston this weekend.
Hell yeah.
I think games 1 and 2 in Boston is too quick, but I definitely think after that is when the window for Ben Simmons to return starts opening up. And even if he's able to give them 15 minutes or 20 minutes, Pat, that's a game changer because that's a guy that automatically you can put on the other team's best player. He can move the ball. He can rebound. A lot can happen. So that is a potential game changer if Ben Simmons returns.
So,
I'm told he's very, very confident he'll be back.
Shams, they weren't just taking this time to teach him how to shoot. This is actually...
I mean, listen, you know what? I was actually thinking about that the other day when I'm watching these videos. Almost everything that is posted online is just him shooting jumpers. And so I assume, I think the Nets over the weekend posted a video of him coming off a curl and shooting a three-pointer, and he made it. And I'm like, listen, if he's really spending this much time just shooting, you would assume, he might come back and take some jumpers.
Yeah, but how is he not able to play? But we see him doing, is this that whole ramp-up thing that you're talking about? Because every video I see, he's shooting, it's going in. It looks like he's going through a workout. There seems to be sweat, so it's not his first shot, I don't think, if you break it down as a high person watching a video. So what says, he can't play tonight game 1 or game 2. It's just because it feels like the tightness is loosening, so they're predicting like one more week it'll be much better, but he's still working out. I don't think I understand how the NBA operates, because like Zion is throwing the ball off the backboard.
So let's break them both down. So Ben Simmons, I think when he went through his last process, standstill shooting, 1-on-0s, and then as they tried to ramp him up, he could really only get to the 1-on-0 stage, and after that, he had a flare-up in his back. So this time it'll kind of be similar, where they're going to ramp him up in time versus standstill shooting. And now this week, I'm told, is when he's going to start ramping up and doing more, whether that's sprinting and running and starting eventually, whether it's this weekend or next week, to take contact. And once he gets past the contact stage, whether that's next week, as long as there's no setbacks, he should be ready to go. And so at that point, again, we're projecting out here 1.5 weeks or so for him to get past that stage as far as contact. I don't think they're going to really require him, to go full blown like a month of 5-on-5s. They just don't have the time. In the case of Zion, he went through the normal progression that the Pelicans had, right? 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5. He went through, up until 4-on-4 last year, essentially in December. And I remember I came on the show. I said he's going to do 5-on-5. He felt soreness. And so this year, this time around, they're doing the same thing. And I have some news for you guys. Zion Williamson did participate in a 5-on-5 full court scrimmage last week.
Let's go!
Here we go.
From what I've been told. But it's still important for him to keep getting those 5-on-5 reps in. Conditioning is important. And just this tight window, after not playing all season, I don't expect.
What do you do? He put up. What do you have? A triple double? He had a triple double in that 5-on-5 full court scrimmage.
I don't have the stats, but from what I was told, he did look. He looked good. But listen, playing.
Put him in the fucking game.
Playing 5-on-5 against back-end roster players, assistant coaches, like Willie Green said the other day, he did a controlled scrimmage. That's different than playing against NBA players and taking contact and doing the whole nine. So,
he's Zion.
Listen, I think with a guy like Zion, when you know that he dealt with a fractured foot, that he should have been back from. He should have played opening night. That was the goal. Unfortunately, he had some setbacks, and so I think that they don't want that to happen again. They want to make sure when Zion Williamson comes back, he stays on the floor.
All right, I get it. That's a very mature look into things.
You guess.
But if he's running 5-on-5 and he's going through the leg dunks, and he's got those two
But
his
it's amazing for the game, though, right? Like, I think the one positive you got to take out of this, we're going to see Zion Williamson play, at some point, whether that's next season. Dude. But the goal, if he's already to the stage of 5-on-5 now, he's feeling good, pain-free, we should see him back doing what Zion Williamson does all next season. The goal would be then to have him back all year next year, not have this start-stop again happen in his career.
All right, what are early futures bets for MVP next year for Zion Williamson? Can we please get FanDuel to get on that? Go ahead, Connor.
Shams, Russell Westbrook saying some very interesting things. Did Frank Vogel actually hate him? And also, did Anthony Davis and LeBron James say publicly that they needed to let Russ be Russ, but then privately said, hey, sit your fucking ass on the bench?
The way I break down the Russell Westbrook situation is that it was just unfortunate because I think from the jump, the fit just was not there. You could tell just on the court, him, LeBron, Anthony Davis just did not jive well. And I think as people, Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis like Russell Westbrook. And I don't know the extent to him and Frank Vogel and how much they got into it. Clearly, there was some level of friction with that coaching staff and Russell Westbrook. I reported yesterday in the story I did on the Lakers, there was a moment even in an early season film session where David Fizdale, their lead assistant, had a back and forth with Russell Westbrook about his shot selection. And that was a moment that created an animated back and forth between those two. And so just that level of tension, I think, existed all year. Russell Westbrook, everywhere he's been, Washington, Houston, to an extent, OKC, it's kind of been free reign. In LA, it's like, all right, let's get Anthony Davis involved. Let's get LeBron James involved. Let's get the ball in their hands. And clearly we saw it just did not go well. So I think what the Lakers are learning now is you got to build a team. And I think we need to remember they are still only 18 months removed from winning a championship. They still have LeBron James, Anthony Davis on this team. I wrote this yesterday. All 29 other teams in the league would love to have Anthony Davis and LeBron James on their team to start a franchise. Right now, it's on the Lakers, it's on Rob Pelinka, it's on that front office, it's on everyone there to make sure that they get the team right. They clearly this year did not get the team right.
He looks like Rob Lowe, right? That's that guy?
Oh, yeah.
Handsome dude.
Very
Handsome older man. He's got a lot of pressure on him, though. He's aging like a president over the last couple months. 18 months removed from a championship. Now you're not even making the playoffs. What the fuck?
Yikes.
Is that the biggest collapse of all time?
Pretty close.
I'm watching the show.
It was a disappointing season for sure. But at the end of the day, they have this summer. To me, I want to see what they do. I want to see what moves they make. I want to see LeBron James, Anthony Davis get healthy. That's going to be very important because Anthony Davis had 2 freak injuries, right? In Minnesota, he had a player run into his knee. That sidelined him for about a month. And then after that, he had the mid-foot sprain that he came down on someone's ankle. That sidelined him for over a month. Like, those are freak injuries, and I think Anthony Davis does get a bad rap for being injury-prone. But those were freak injuries. And so you hope that those don't happen. LeBron's got to get healthy. He's got a decision to make, too. He's got a 2-year, $100 million extension that he could sign in August. We'll see what ends up happening with that. But overall, this Lakers team, this is a big offseason for them to actually get back to their roots of building a team. And if you look at 2 of the last 3 years, they've actually went out and built a team. The year they won the championship, they had a good team. I thought even last season they had a good team. They were up 2-1 against Phoenix, and then Anthony Davis pops his groin, and then they lose in that series against the Suns. They were up 2-1. They were going to go up 3-1. Who knows? They would have went to the finals that year. And so a lot of what ifs for sure, but I think
Frank Vogel wanted out of there,
offseason.
Frank Vogel wanted out of there. Get me the fuck out of here. You think Frank Vogel felt that way or no?
I think Frank Vogel I think mid-season Frank Vogel saw the writing was on the wall that he would not be back this season. Right. And now they're going to have to go to the drawing board.
This guy can't shoot a basketball.
I think it'll be a slow process, but Pat, 2 names that I would keep an eye on. One, Nick Nurse in Toronto. He's the head coach there, won Coach of the Year a couple of years ago, won a championship there in 2019. I think that's the exact strong personality guy that can get everything out of his team. That's a guy that the Lakers would want. Another name, the Utah Jazz coach, Quinn Snyder. Now, again, both of those guys, we're going to have to wait and see. Will they be able to get out of their contracts? What happens in the playoffs? That'll play out.
Hey, Dr. Jerry Buss would get them out of their contracts like that.
That's right.
I'm watching that HBO special right now on that whole operation. Doc Buss was a fucking wild man. That guy, one of the biggest outlaws in the history of maybe society. That guy. Had no idea. Are you watching that? It's awesome.
I have seen some episodes. I think that the portrayal of Dr. Buss makes him look like a boss. To put it in simple terms, he looks pretty badass for sure.
Hey, there is a lot of boning in there.
Oh yeah,
they're doing a lot of sexing.
Yeah,
a lot of sex back in there.
Yeah, that's Showtime, baby.
Yeah, but it's a good time. I mean, it's a good
great show.
Great head of hair.
Yeah.
Jerry West, that guy was fucking fiery.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know he was so fiery.
Screaming.
I had no
Very
idea.
fire.
They were getting after it. But he would have been able to get those coaches out of Canada and out of their contract. Let's see what Rob Lowe can do. Go ahead, Ty.
Shams, outside of the Nets, are there any of these teams playing in the play-in that have a realistic shot of actually doing something in the playoffs? I know Jakob Hurtle has been blazing hot for the Spurs lately. So any of those teams actually have a chance moving forward?
I think the one team besides the Nets that can make some real noise in the playoffs, I don't know about finals or conference finals, but the Clippers.
Oh, yeah.
With Paul George back in the lineup, and we'll see what happens with Kawhi Leonard. They still have not ruled him out this year.
Wow.
Could he come back if they get by round 1? And that Clippers team right now, to me, with Paul George back, I think they're a real threat to beat either. I think they're a real threat. I don't know if they can beat Phoenix. Phoenix is just a machine right now. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with Memphis if they
Is
play
LA
Memphis
a Clippers
in that
city
2-7
now?
matchup.
Do the Clippers own the crypt?
Nah,
is that what's going on? Does LA love the Clippers now?
I think so. They got that new arena.
I don't know if they love them, but I think that they got the best shot. If Paul George doesn't get hurt, that team is anywhere from the 3 seed to the 6 seed, in my opinion. Wow. So that
Kawhi
to me,
Leonard still
that's
playing
the team to
basketball?
watch.
He's hurt.
for
He's been hurt all year. He tore his knee
Might
up
come
last
back
year.
in playoffs.
Kawhi Leonard playing or no?
Listen, as of right now, I think they're operating. They're going into the playoffs that he's not going to be playing. But, again, they have not ruled him out. With Kawhi Leonard, I wouldn't put it past them. If they got by round 1, if they got to the conference finals, could he come back? I think that's really just going to be about him and how he rehabs through that ACL. But listen, with these ACLs, you usually, Pat, it takes about a year for you to get back out there and 100%.
Not anymore.
Jamal Murray in Denver, another guy who's coming off a torn ACL last April. But from everything I've been told, it is not likely that he'll be able to play this postseason.
How about the Bucks? I seen that they beat the Pistons by 40 on Friday night. How do we feel about their chances going through the playoffs? Good on the Pistons, by the way, showing up.
Thank you.
I mean, to me, they've got as good a chance as any. I think Milwaukee for sure can go and repeat this year. They're going to be the 3 seed. They're going to play Chicago. I don't think that series will go too long.
Wow.
Right now beat up. No Lonzo Ball.
Stink.
That's going to be a tough one for the Bulls not to be playing with him. If they had Lonzo Ball, I think this series would have been really, really
Is
competitive.
Benny the Bull going to be there or not?
He's going to be there.
Well, that's a whole
He'll
nother
be
problem.
there. Come on, Pat. You know he'll be there.
Yeah, Benny the Bull. This is the new Benny the Bull, right?
With the popcorn.
Yeah, because old Benny the Bull got in a little
The other one got banned.
trouble. Oh, banned the original Benny the Bull.
Kind of a snitch.
But no, I think Milwaukee has as good of a chance as any team for sure.
Go ahead, Tone.
Shams, I'm reading here that it was reported by the athletic reporter Shams Charania. Jared Allen isn't going to play tonight because of a finger. I mean, is this not the tournament? Is this not the playoffs? What are we doing? A finger? Can't tape those things together on his left hand? Jesus.
Loser goes home.
He's been trying. He's been trying to. He's had splints. He's had smaller splints. He's had tape. He has a fractured finger on that left hand, and from what I'm told, that discomfort is just it's gone all over his hand, right? So anytime you have
the playoffs,
a finger, there can be discomfort in the hand. And so, listen, Jared Allen, I'm not going to take any shots at Jared Allen. I think he wants to play. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get out there tonight.
Which finger? Do we know which finger it is? Do you know which finger it is?
It's not. I don't believe it's the middle finger.
Third
It's
metatarsal?
not the pinky
The
or the
ring
thumb.
finger?
I'd have to go.
It's the one
It's
you
not.
put up,
I believe
but
it's
you
the
don't
ring,
give
but
a fuck.
I'd have to double check.
Sorry, we just got into an M&M bar there. Hey, we appreciate you, Shams. Thank you for stopping by. I know the show on Thursday is going to be a big deal. 2 o'clock at Stadium Twitter. What are you guys are just breaking down the entire tournament or what?
We're going to break down the entire playoffs. We're going to have news on everything, on every player, seeing when guys come back in the lineup. Any news that could impact these playoff series, we're going to have that for sure.
Okay, well, we'll have somebody watching that.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Locked in.
we'll be live and our show will be very dead. So we will just probably be skimming directly off of your show. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Shams Charania. Not the pointer, or the ring, or the thumb. It's the one you put up when you don't give a fuck. What if it was his middle finger, huh?
It might be.
Why don't you care? Why are you guys talking about? I mean, we all had the same reaction. It's still playoffs.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, it is. So
For all these guys, dude.
Yeah, but you got to think a lot of ball in hand in basketball.
Sure.
Yeah, but
He's a center.
splint. I mean, I feel like those guys
Tape
they're-
those fucking
they're getting
things together.
banged up. I mean, listen, I don't necessarily believe it, but it does seem like
Get
a
on
lot
the
of
court.
these younger cats in
No.
the NBA
Ben
are just
Simmons, get on the
bitch-made
court.
cats.
No.
Zion, get on the court. It's the
Stop. You know what
playoffs.
it's like. You have no idea what
No,
it's like.
I don't. But hey,
Juwan Blair was playing with no ACLs.
Well,
Coach JV
How about
would be
bringing
right.
back those finger sleeves? Remember the Allen Iverson ones?
Yeah,
awesome.
Vince Carter wore
Yeah,
too.
those were sweet.
they had them on the shooting hand at one point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't know
that is-
how.
The amount of confidence you have to have just things on your hand that you're shooting with. Unbelievable. Let's get to a break here. 44 minutes into hour one. Show's going real well.
Yeah.
It's going real well.
I had 412 there.
Have 412 there.
Hell yeah.
We answer phone calls on the other side on the 5-Hour Energy phone line, 1-833-4-McAfee. Can't thank you guys enough for watching. We got some stats on WrestleMania.
Ooh.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some stats, crazy stats. Also, the NFLPA, J.C. Treader, center for the Browns. No longer with the Browns.
No longer a Brown.
Free agent because he is the NFLPA president. Normally happens to the NFLPA president, by the way. The NFL team somehow just don't think you're that good at football anymore.
It's weird.
It always seems to happen. Never really gets brought up in conversation. Kevin Mawai was like fucking all pro, all pro, all pro, all pro,
Yeah.
all pro, all pro. No job, no job, no job, no job. Now, is that because he wanted to retire or is because he was president? J.C. Treader, president of NFLPA, had a job all the way up till now. Now he's a free agent. Who knows if he'll get signed? He's pushing for guaranteed contracts. Saying, hey, boys, now is the time.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The money's only going up.
Yeah.
Every other league has guaranteed contracts. Every other league is smaller than us. Why are we not doing this yet? We'll cover that and more. And your phone calls in 4 minutes. This is the Pat McAfee Show on 412 Day Tuesday. Do you ever think about dabbling more on the internet? I know you don't really do it much, but
never.
you are beloved on there, Chuck.
Hey, Pat, never going on the internet.
Chuck!
Never go. No, because two things. Number one, once you're successful, I always say, being successful is like being the homecoming queen. All the ugly bitches hate you. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. When you're successful, you're gonna have built-in enemies. And then the more successful you become, the more enemies come at you. So I don't want to give them access to me because I'm not that guy. If you say something mean to me, I gotta say something mean back to you. When I was younger, I used to fight all the time. I'm too old to fight now, but I can still verbalize some insult.
Yes.
And like, let's say if I'm out drinking, because people know I like to drink. If I'm drinking my vodka or some tequila and you insult me, there's a 100% chance I'm gonna say some shit back at you. And the problem with being famous, Pat, and I don't like calling myself famous, but it is what it is.
Yeah, 21.
People can say anything they want to me, and nobody gives a shit. But the first time I go crazy on their ass, I'm gonna get crushed.
Yeah, you're not classy. You're not professional, obviously. Yeah. Be a
so
gentleman.
I choose not to let people have access to me in that situation.
The Jacksonville Duval Jaguars are dead. And I think that is something that is a shame. But we should at least have a moment of silence, I guess, for the Urban Meyer-led Jacksonville Jaguar squad. He chose one time not to fly back home with the team after a loss. Said, I gotta see the grand babies. That's right. The only babies he saw were those young ladies at the shop house that week. Couple fingers. Devil. He had to answer a lot of questions about that, but then he got back on track and started coaching football.
Oh, yeah. Forget about the fingers.
And they won. They won a game in London. How'd they win? It's because they forgot about the fingers. That's right. And then they came back to America. And they lose. And they lose. And they lose. And they lose. And anonymous sources say, this guy fucking stinks. He's laughed out of meeting rooms. Everybody wants to smack him in the mouth.
Attitude reflect leadership, Captain.
Have a little mirror therapy, pal.
A little bit.
You stink.
You guys ever get yourself one of these? I didn't think so, you losers.
Hey, this one from high school, this one from college, and this one right here, middle fingers open for the NFL. If any of you would stop fucking me over.
Goddamn right.
That's what we're trying to get. Hey, you, defensive coordinator.
What's that?
You got any of these?
No, I don't. I don't.
That's why I thought you're a fucking loser.
I'm sorry.
You need to stop by the job. Anyways, they're dead. Hey, welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on 412 Day. So there is reports coming out now about the Commanders keeping two different books. And the Commanders, charging $55 for a ticket and reporting that they charged $44 a ticket. So then you're picking up $11 for every ticket that you're not reporting. So they did keep an accurate book for like the IRS, I believe, but did not keep an accurate book for maybe the NFL. That is what's being alleged. If what we are reading quickly while we're live on air is accurate. Friedman told the committee that he falsely processed $162,360 of revenue from Commanders game tickets as being derived from the Navy Notre Dame game at FedEx Field based on guidance from Choi in a May 6, 2014 email. The juice goes to Navy versus Notre Dame game, Choi wrote, according to the committee's letter. Friedman told the committee the Commanders avoided detection in such a case by charging $55 for a ticket listed in their manifest as costing actually $44.
Oh.
So this is the two sets of books Friedman told the committee. So in this particular case, there's a set of books that's submitted to the NFL that doesn't include the $162,000, but then there's a set of books that kept internally shown to Mr. Snyder and Mr. Snyder's, I believe just Mr. Snyder, actually, and the people in his inner circle, maybe, that shows what we actually did, which would include the $162,000 of juice. So Friedman is telling, he was the CFO there, I think, for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's a part of their thing, and now he's out. And I believe it's trying to be painted as a disgruntled former employee, but he, I guess, has all the information on everything and knows where all the bodies are potentially buried in the finance game.
No.
So just $162,000 for that particular game was hidden from the rest of the NFL because it wasn't an NFL game. Is that probably why they're doing that? And let's assume there was more. Is that why they're trying to make a big deal out of this?
Yeah, don't you think it's probably just like a tip of the iceberg? We found one case of them doing this. Like they're doing this for a whole bunch of other shit.
And this is just like whenever the phone companies will just add a carrier's fee for like $2 or something like that. Like, $2. You look at your bill and it's like, is it more? No, it's always in like that area, like 130. It's like in that area always. But they're collecting $2 from every single person. Bang, 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 bang. And you don't even know it. If 10 million people have that, that's $20 million they just got from one little blip of that. And that's like the skimming. Skimming is always something that people do in mass numbers. That would be a perfect example of that. $11 for every ticket. In the NFL, they're still reporting $44 per ticket, so it's a large amount of money, but just 11 from everyone got them $162,000. So imagine what the $44 is doing. That's extra money. You do quick math, times that by 4, 160. What's that? 32, 64, $640,000. You report to the fucking NFL, and they're like, that's good. This wasn't even one of our games. Mm-hmm. And then you get to keep the other at home, and nobody even knows about it.
Yeah.
Well, do you think they're probably doing that for the actual games too, right? Like it's hard to imagine them selling out an NFL
I don't know, because
stadium.
in that quote it says the juice goes to Notre Dame Navy or whatever, right? The juice goes to Navy versus Notre Dame game.
And there's no way that stadium was filled like to the brim. Like if they were doing like a sellout.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Did they do it to a sellout? Did they do
Notre
it?
Dame might have been.
Yeah.
And did they do it to the NFL games though? Like that's the follow-up, right? That the NFL would have to worry about because those would be the sellouts. By the way.
And those tickets would be probably
Way
priced
more.
higher. Yeah.
FedEx Field, by the way, is huge.
Huge.
Fucking huge. All right, let's go to the 5 Energy phone line. Something to keep an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And every accountant, CFO, numbers person that we have heard from that has heard about this story, the amount of work it would take to keep 2 separate books would be a real pain in the ass of somebody.
Yeah.
And it felt like Friedman said, Mr. Snyder and Mr. Snyder's... Actually, I think it was just Mr. Snyder. I want to know who was almost came out and was like, that person will actually kill me. That person would not be happy about it. Or was it really him trying to recall who was in the room? And literally it's just those two knowing. Can't have a lot of people know that type of shit. They'll get out very quickly. Man. Let's go to the 5 Energy Fun Line here as we wrap up hour 1. They're going to force him to sell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is
Voted off the island.
Hey, you're going to listen. This can all go away. You just get the fuck on out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember Sterling? Sterling was in some shit. He sold it. Nobody even heard about him.
He made an appearance in the Winning Time show as well.
Yeah, they're also making a show about him on Fox.
It ain't going to be like the Dr. Jerry Buss one.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Let's go to Hitchell in Illinois. What's going on, Hitchell?
Hey, what's up, boys?
Actual Hitchell or Mitchell and spelled wrong on here?
No, it's play off Hitchell Trubisky.
Oh, I get it. Nailed it.
good.
Okay.
Funny.
Hitchell, what's going on, dude?
Yeah. Well, I called like a month ago. You weren't on the show. You're going to SmackDown. But I just want to thanks for that $10K from the Aaron Rodgers show. Appreciate you, boy.
Oh,
But,
no problem, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. But no, you were talking about Ohio earlier, and fucking, I went to basic training, and I met this dude from Ohio, and dude, he is a spin image of AJ, dude, and I think it's hilarious that all Ohioans
Well,
Ohioans, whatever, are all the same.
They are. Hey, Hitchell, real quick.
Know.
Hitchell, the hour's wrapping up. Which branch?
National Guard.
Hey, we appreciate you, man. Have a good one, Hitchell. Thank you for calling in. I'm bummed I missed his first call. Good energy on Hitchell.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know. Hitchell Trubisky. Is that something people call him that?
Was he dynamite on hitch
He
routes?
throws a great hitch,
Oh, he's going to be a hitch god.
Yeah.
Oh, the hitch god, Hitchell Trubisky, taking his talents to Pittsburgh.
Hell yeah.
Well, look for the hitch. No Juju, though. That's a shame.
That's all right. That's fine.
Who'll be catching him? Chase Claypool, maybe, and the boys.
Moose.
We're back in 6 minutes with Hour 2 with Ohioan AJ Hawk, the Ohio State Buckeye. What if I introduced him as the Ohio State Buckeye yesterday? Is AJ Hawk the mascot of Ohio at this point?
I think so.
Pretty close.
Could be, yeah.
I know they got that guy that does all the.
Who, Brutus?
Yeah, Brutus is awesome, and I know they got Big Nut.
Big Nut, yeah.
Big Nut is awesome. He's doing his thing, but I feel like AJ Hawk is the representative of Ohio in a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah.
I wonder if AJ ever thinks about that. That's a lot of pressure, especially for the people of Ohio.
Yeah, Andy's from Ohio, so it's not even just the Ohio State connection. Like he might even be
Andy lives
Browns, Bengals, anything that has to do with Ohio.
Yeah, just in general, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
We'll ask him about that more. This show's really going well.
I mean, there's just so much goddamn news.
I think Orlovsky's coming on 120.
Oh, here we go.
Okay,
right.
hey, I just remember that. That'll turn
Second
things
win.
up.
Things
Here we go.
will really turn around. Then,
Second win.
The hell does
Nick,
that
it's
mean?
4-on-2 today.
Come on,
Yeah, I
man.
know. Where's the Pittsburgh guess? What are we doing?
It's a great question.
Well, fucking Sid's,
Getting ready for a game.
Yeah, he's busy.
Gino's got nothing going on. How come we don't got
Couldn't
fucking
get Gino.
Gino?
Where's AQ Shipley?
Well, he fucking didn't answer any calls this morning.
Well, that makes sense. Goddamn Penn State alumni. He's probably laying low.
You want to reach out to Franco Harris?
That was a 200 scroller.
Yeah.
Just yesterday about Penn State being a problem.
Should have won a Pulitzer Prize.
It should.
It might.
I seen the other
Still
journalists talking about that.
Bruce didn't say that.
I mean, Bruce doesn't fully understand, though, that as a journalist, if you write a 7,000-word essay and drop it at a 101 on a Monday, like nobody else is doing that, you deserve to be awarded for that.
That's right.
The other journalists were like, holy shit, the amount of investigative work in the modern world that we're in that you just did on that. And in a time where headlines are basically the only thing people read, you go the complete opposite direction and have like this beautifully well-written, investigative, harrowing story about a terrible human being and really deliver it in a storytelling arc. You deserve some sort of award. And I'll tell you what, as somebody that would never, ever read that because of how long it is, fucking give him an award.
Yeah. Give him a Pulitzer.
Give him the Pulitzer. What is the Pulitzer?
Writing
It's like the
award.
Nobel
Great.
Peace Prize for
Great.
Writing.
What is it?
It's a Nobel Peace Prize, but for writing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. And the Nobel Peace Prize is?
Fucking
Remember
Peace
the-
Award.
It's the Pulitzer.
Remember the gold stars?
Exactly.
Remember the gold stars on the books? Pulitzer.
Yeah, Bill
course.
Pulitzer. Guy
What's that
can
mean?
write.
Good. This is good. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
an Oscar for writing.
Yeah.
Boom! There it is.
Well said.
It's an Oscar.
Which is
So, Aaron's got 4 Pulitzers of the NFL.
yes.
there it is.
Back-to-back Pulitzer Prize winner of the NFL
Yeah.
Pulitzer Prize winner.
Correct.
That's right. Aaron Rodgers. That's what a Pulitzer is, like an MVP.
And Whitworth won the Peace Prize of the NFL.
The Nobel Peace Prize.
Which
Yes.
is
right.
The Walter Payton Man of the Year. You make
Yeah.
the world better.
Boom.
So he won the NFL's Nobel Peace Prize and gave a great speech.
Yeah, he did.
Aaron Rodgers went back-to-back winning the NFL Pulitzer Prize.
Yes.
And he gave a speech while in the Ponchacar McClens.
Yes.
Vrabel won the Director of the Year for the Academy Awards for the NFL.
Yeah.
Do they have any world awards for that? Like that we're talking about here, Pulitzer, Nobel?
Do they do like a lifetime award?
You could do like Time Man of the Year.
Yeah. Oh, MTV's Person of the
Time
Decade.
Man of the Year is always a huge conversation, right? 'Cause,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like Putin's probably going to win the Man of the Year this year,
He
right?
could.
Another dictator won it. a
That's
long
what they
time
do.
ago.
Yeah,
Oh,
like who is the most influential person? I believe starting a war.
Elon
probably-
was Elon last year?
Wasn't it Fauci last year?
No,
yeah,
last year they
might
gave
have
it to
been.
all the frontline workers, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
they
yeah,
put Fauci on the cover, I believe.
So like the most, they're the person who did the most to the world that year.
Yeah,
Frontline workers shout out.
shout out. But they didn't put them on the cover. That was a big.
Fauci
thing
could
about
be
it.
up for it again this year, you'd say.
I guess it's coming back, huh?
That's what they're saying.
Philadelphia, what's going on?
I know.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
What's the deal?
That's why I think Kid Rock might win.
Cut them
Person of the
out
Year
of
for time.
Pennsylvania.
What's going on?
Cut Philly out of Pennsylvania. Give them to fucking Jersey or New York.
What is happening though? So what's going on? People are dying again from this whole thing. Now, granted, people are dying all the time, but like, is what is going on? We're going. Some places are going back in this. I just saw a video from China where somebody was holding a megaphone in somebody's face saying, "Go back to your bed."
Well, I don't know if
China.
that's ever ended.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
remember Wuhan was back.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a dystopian situation over there.
What's that?
Dystopian.
Can you use it in a sentence?
It's like the culture over there is very it's a dystopian culture.
Utopian would be like everything is good, great, grand, perfect life. Dystopian is quite the opposite.
Okay.
Like when they make movies about a post-apocalypse world.
That's dystopia.
That's a dystopia.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Like,
well, it does feel like that in Shanghai right now. I seen some video. Everybody's locked up in their houses still because of COVID.
Yeah.
I thought we.
Well, is it because of COVID or something else going on?
Because they got a goddamn commie running the country. And
Whoa, probably.
Yeah. It is
what's going on in
genocide going on?
What's going on in Philadelphia?
Philadelphia just
Why are they doing
sucks.
they're the only people putting the mask mandate back. What's that?
I don't know.
What do they know that we don't know?
I don't know. I thought everything got better after Ben Simons left, and then here we are putting masks back on over there.
What do they know that we don't know, though, is what I'm saying. Because I was just in two stadiums with 156,000
I had to
people.
guess.
Texas is wide open.
And I would assume, by the way, I'd assume a lot of people in there got COVID.
If I had to guess, James Harden was in a strip club, and then he in the stadium, gave someone the stadium, and then 60,000 people got it.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the show. Hour 2 on this 4/1 day. I mean, maybe the most important day in sports history begins right now. Yes! Ladies and gentlemen, there are things that we can talk about until the cows come home. Shout out to the farm talk we had earlier today. There are things that the Talks Table at Ty Schmidt and at Boston Connor can chit-chat about that can change the globe. There are things that the COVID cowboy at Tone Diggs, one half of the Hammer, Dahn Cowboys can talk about that people will love hearing. But there is only a few things that one man can talk about and everybody will have respect for it. That man is a college football national champion. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a Ryder Cup champion. Whoa. He is the Ohio State Buckeye.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, COVID survivor, AJ Hawk. AJ, what's going on in Philadelphia? What the fuck is going on in Philadelphia?
I just heard that when I was waiting for you. Did that just come down this morning?
I believe yesterday it came up, popped up.
So anything indoors, the mask mandate?
Yeah, I thought we were done with this. What's the deal? What do they know that we don't know, AJ? Do they know something that we don't know? And if it is, what do we need to know going forward?
Is it maybe a late April Fool's thing, hopefully?
I don't think so.
Like Philadelphia, city of brotherly love.
Hey, gotcha.
We meant to do this on April 1, but you know how bureaucracy goes. We had to get this passed. It was a little bit later, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, do they have to wear fucking masks at the baseball games now, too? Outdoors? Are we doing that as well?
Well, that was something for the New York because old Aaron Judge. And
that's right. Well, just players, fans, are we going to see, 50,000 masks in there at the Phillies game this weekend?
In the dugout, too. They better because that is...
What about the arena? Are they still playing basketball?
Yeah, Sixers have home court advantage, too.
Every person in there, right?
Court advantage?
Every person in there, not going to be able to hear them. They're all masked up.
Yeah.
It's weird that it's such a panic, but it doesn't start until Monday.
What?
The mask mandate. Like, they announced it this week, but it doesn't start till Monday. It's just weird that it's such a panic, but it's still got
so
time.
they're going to go outside and spit everybody's mouth on Monday.
Maybe we'll start fresh Monday.
The war ratings might have gone down. So
whoa.
When that was happening.
Problem.
Let's talk about some sports here. If the Sixers have a full crowd wearing masks as the only city that has to have it, I do believe that is a disadvantage for the Sixers.
It is.
And if James Harden loses, they're going to attack him. But maybe it's crowd not being able to show their mean faces to the opponents.
Yeah.
You know, they got that mask on. You know what I mean? Everybody's just going to picture them with smiley faces underneath. Oh, this is a welcoming place. And Philly's like, "Arr, I can't growl." You know what I mean? That's how we. That's what
Maybe can they give everybody a mask, maybe with a different mean faces drawn on the front of it?
See, now we're thinking, do they have enough time? I mean, that's why it was probably pushed till Monday.
Yeah.
Got to get the mask
Think about it.
for the Sixers game that is mean enough for the visiting team, because we would still like to have some home court advantage.
Where's
There's
Ben
a good-
Franklin?
Who are they playing? There's a good chance those guys forfeit. Nah, fuck it. We ain't playing tonight. Unless they take these masks off, we're not playing
Because they're
tonight.
scared of all the masks, or because they just don't.
They just won't stand for it.
Well,
We'll
do the
go back
players?
home.
Do the players have to wear the mask in the arena?
Well, if it was
Probably.
anybody but Toronto they were playing, there might be a chance of that.
You probably have to wear it if you're not in, right? Like, do coaches have to wear it?
I would assume
better
so.
in the
I mean,
bubble.
they fucking something's
Private
going on,
corporation.
dude. Something's going on. What do they know?
Maybe live events have some kind of different exemption, though.
Bro, are they smarter than everybody? Like, that's the thing that I don't fully understand. Like, do they know more than we do? They care about people more than everybody else does? What is?
What are they? I'm sure they would say what they're having like an outbreak or there's a high number of positive tests. Is that what they're saying?
Let me read.
Yeah, what's their vax
Could have
percentage?
something to do with the Liberty Bell.
Something with Liberty Bell. It's cracked. Maybe COVID attacked the crack.
It's because they're saying the cases are rising. I don't.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
I'm not
Coming
gonna
to
get it.
Pittsburgh next.
Whoa.
Well,
It won't.
Hopefully not.
Pittsburgh just got rid of plastic bags, I guess.
Really? Progressive.
Yeah, look, taking care
What
of
do you
them
mean?
well. Only allowed to use steel ones. Nick just sent me an actual news thing. There's no more plastic bags allowed in Pittsburgh grocery stores.
Yeah, it's going to be heavy, but we do feel it'll be better for the environment.
Thank you.
Steel.
Thank you,
Well,
John
hold up.
Eagle.
Thank you, Eagle. Help
All
the
right.
asbestos in the air.
Let's move along. I don't like that mask thing, though. That scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, I mean they're still on airplanes. Like, wasn't that supposed to come down soon?
Next week.
17th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next week. No more masks on airplanes.
It's 4-on-2 day. They wanted one last 4-on-2 day.
Yeah.
Everybody masked up on plane. One last, and they did it. Thank you. Thank
Is
you.
this a real
Thank
thing?
you.
Is this 412 day like a national thing that I don't know about?
I don't know if it's
National? I don't know why. Who would be a national?
I mean,
thing.
everybody knows. I'm saying, is it something that we all observe? Yeah, of course. With 412 day, we have to give Pittsburgh their props.
Hey, by the way, we would appreciate that if that was the case, but we are our tribe of people in Pittsburgh are cool with us just recognizing it.
Yeah.
But if you would like to give us love, we're 100% okay with it. Go ahead, let it eat.
I think it's great. I've known a lot of Pittsburgh people. I have a lot of Pittsburgh friends before I ever met you and the boys. But yeah, Pittsburgh's a fun, unique spot, and I think it's a special place. So I think you guys should have a day.
Boom, happy 4-on-2 day, said AJ. Thank
Happy
you,
4-on-2
AJ.
day.
Thank you.
Thank you, AJ.
AJ.
Can you put a picture of the Rust Belt back up, please? We have to show AJ Hawk this because
Pulling it up.
we believe we know why you are the way you are and why you have become the mascot for all of Ohio for a lot of people. Look at the state of Ohio, please. This is the Rust Belt right here. So some guy walked around and said, this place tough enough to be the Rust Belt. This place tough enough to be the Rust Belt. This place revitalized used to be the Rust Belt. That's the green. You see up there in the right of Massachusetts.
Hell yeah.
The entire state of Ohio, Rust Belt. Yeah, whoever was judging literally drove a car or a wagon or whatever from the top of Ohio all the way down to the bottom. It was like this whole fucking place, except for this one area down here. Seems to be a lot of yups. No calluses on any hands here, AJ. It's going to make you feel good about the state of Ohio right here. Tough.
Yeah, this is the first time I have seen this map. I'm not sure who gets to decide what the Rust Belt really is. but
Lord
yeah,
Rust
good-
Belt.
Good for Ohio.
Probably Andy Carnegie, if I had to take a
Good
guess.
for everybody that's involved.
Yeah, good for all
Amen.
parties. They spell Erie.
Little plop right there, St. Louis.
Is that 2 E's on Erie?
Yeah, it is.
So this map is terrible.
Erie?
They spelled Erie wrong.
Fucking Erie.
Erie. Yeah, so you can't really take this.
Is there a
serious.
different one?
Erie.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Every.
Maybe
This is all horseshit.
Maybe at the time of the map, it was spelled like
It feels
that.
like this is all bullshit.
No,
Can't even spell Erie right, dude. Look at that.
Well, it's because you're a Rust Belt guy. He
And what's
goes
the green
school.
all about on Pittsburgh? I mean, you haven't been there. Oh, Baltimore's got a little.
Oh, Pittsburgh also revitalized Rust Belt.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Look at us, guys.
Yeah, switched to fucking tech and medicine. We stayed alive.
What did you guys do?
What did we do?
Yeah.
I mean, fucking, what didn't we do? You can just run down the list if you want to. I mean, I know New Hampshire didn't get the Rust Belt because they're live free or die. They probably won't let this guy fucking walk around the state.
All right, let's talk about Ohio a little bit here. The Cincinnati Bengals are in an interesting spot because although they were just in the Super Bowl after winning 4 games the season beforehand, and they got a young quarterback, they're building an indoor facility. Hey, here we go. Here we go. They got a young crew that's ready to go and very marketable, and I think we have all become fans of the Cincinnati Bengals and their fan base. Very, very passionate, very loyal. A lot of drunks and also, good Rust Belt community over here in Cincinnati.
Of course.
With that being said, stats say Joe Burrow ain't ever making it back to the fucking Super Bowl, dude. CBS Sports released this yesterday. Each of the last 16 quarterbacks to lose in their Super Bowl debut have never made it back to the big game. Go ahead and run through the entire list right there. It is not good news for Joe Burrow. And if you do recall during Super Bowl week, a lot of people were like, I want Matthew Stafford to win. I think Seth Rollins was the first person to say it, but then it kind of became a talking point for everybody. Seth was on Wednesday. I want Matthew Stafford to win, because he's kind of the older guard. Joe Burrow will win another one. And I remember immediately saying, oh yeah, fucking easy. Just win another Super Bowl. The Patriots have completely conflicted people's views on how difficult it is to make it to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. Joey Burrow, if he makes it back, which by the way, I believe he can. I absolutely love Joe Burrow. I think he'll get back and win the goddamn Super Bowl. But it is a tough thing to do apparently. And that's why the parity of the NFL is normally talked about so much, even though only a couple different people win on a regular basis.
Well, this is maybe something that Joe can use, just add another little chip to his shoulder. I feel like if he wants to have some more stuff that he can use as motivation. But, I mean, the thing is, obviously none of these guys have any impact on Joe Burrow and what he's doing. But, yeah, the trends say that it's not good to get back. The odds are not that great. But think about it. It's almost like the Masters when people say, oh, okay, say that we have these stud pros that maybe they've won one major, but they haven't won the Masters, and they play it every year, and you're like, well, you're going to play it for 25 years. Yeah. You're going to win one of them, man. You got to, right? But then every year, can you imagine being that person that week, year after not winning it? Like, wow, I got to put together 4 perfect days to win this thing, and I have new competitors coming up every single year that are bigger, better, hit the ball farther. It's that hard.
In the Masters, not so much as it is in the NFL, but health reigns in on all it.
Huge.
Star
Health, luck,
players.
Which luck is involved, but you have so many moving parts of the football team. Like golf, it's you. If you figure yourself out, hopefully, But I think you're right, though, with luck, though. Getting lucky at who gets hurt is a massive part of an NFL season. You lose, everybody's going to get hurt. But if you lose, you're going to lose a couple guys every single season. But if it's one of your 5-star guys, BA used to say, hey, this is a 5-star. Our 5 stars got to beat their fucking 5 stars. Hey, our 5 stars are going to cancel out their 5 stars. Y'all other motherfuckers need to win this game, basically, is how BA used to actually speak. But it's real. If you lose a couple of your 5-star guys, the guys that are eating up a lot of your salary cap, the guys that are the leaders, the guys that are supposed to be doing their thing, that drastically affects your team. Where other people get injuries, and it's a big name, but you still got your guys. That can. Or if you're all set up and you have, think about if you have great luck, you're all set up to make a run, all this stuff happens, and you lose your franchise quarterback, and he was a guy.
Dead.
Good luck. They're like, okay, here we go. Let's chalk this season up.
Well, what if your franchise quarterback retires 9 days before season starts?
Yeah, that'd
be tough.
Hey, that'll affect you for the next 4 years, 5 years.
That's right.
That'll get you. I mean, we're kind of in the middle of research on that whole thing right now. But yeah, I hope Joey Burrow debunks it. And nothing that happens in the past has any outcome on what's going to happen today. You pointed that out beautifully. That's why the stats community, although I understand what you're saying, if it's not 100-0, I don't want to fucking hear it. Sounds like this one's 100-0. But Joey Burrow has debunked a lot of different myths and theories that could happen, like taking the Cincinnati Bengals to the fucking Super Bowl.
He's young, too, though. Isn't he younger than a lot of those guys on the list that went to the Super Bowl and lost?
I knew I Dahn on
Goff. Yeah.
I mean, Chip Goff was young, too.
Goff was young.
Yeah, Cam as well.
Cam was,
but the guys in the bottom line, when did they go?
Rich Gannon and what?
Jake Delhomme went late in his career.
Kerry was late.
Rich.
Stan Humphries was late. Drew.
Rest in peace, Steve McNair. He was later, right?
Yeah.
McNabb was
Drew.
later.
Drew would have made it back probably.
I mean, Matt Ryan's going to make it back this year, right?
Yeah, Matt Ryan's got a good chance to get back. So
Rex Grossman deserved another shot.
Sexy Rex.
Yeah.
Guy could fucking huck that pigskin.
Yeah, all these guys could throw a ball pretty well. Except for Jimmy G. No, I'm joking. He did not deserve that. Jimmy G did not deserve that. I hope Jimmy G gets back to the Super Bowl, by the way, because you remember they had the lead in that fucking thing.
Oh, yeah.
They had the lead in that thing. They were going to win that Super Bowl. They came out of nowhere. Jimmy G was like, this guy never loses. This guy is always a winner, always a winner. And then he missed one pass to Ted, I think, right?
Manuel Sanders.
No, Manuel Sanders, yeah. Manuel Sanders missed him by like 4 yards, 5 yards. And then that offseason, Tom Brady's come here, Jimmy G can't win. It's like, oh my God, that's when it all kind of started for him. What's going to happen in that situation? I wonder.
What are we waiting on? Like, what does Rap Sheet or anybody say about Jimmy G?
So they're all saying that the shoulder surgery is the reason. So the rehab, everybody's waiting to see how it goes with Jimmy G. But if Jimmy G was, we don't feel this way about Jimmy G. All right, got a lot of respect.
What if he throws better after the surgery, like Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, Tommy John could potentially happen, and the floater would inevitably win it and seal it. But if he was viewed in the same vision as like the top, like Russell and Aaron and them, I don't think the shoulder surgery would matter. But I think because there is a lot of people that wonder still, the shoulder surgery combined with that, and once again, I'm not saying I wonder. If I get Jimmy G on the team, I'm getting Jimmy G on my team. The motherfucker just wins all the time, it seems like. But I feel like that is something that people are holding back on and not sending everything they could possibly send to the Niners, although he said they had 2 twos in his back pocket or something like that, which might have been some gamesmanship from John Lynch. I have no idea what they're waiting on.
Don't you think it's possible that if like they see the way the draft shakes out for the first however many picks and they want to get back in the first round, since I don't think they have any, and they use Jimmy G to, I don't know if they'd be able to get into like the top 10 using him and future stuff, but maybe like a later round pick, and he ends up going to one of these teams who is kind of in between right now.
Remember, Mark Murphy says it's going to get interesting on draft day.
Well,
is he trading Aaron
I'll
and
tell
Jimmy?
you what, if that son of a bitch trades for Jimmy G, I don't know what I'll do, but I wouldn't put it past him.
Hey,
send Aaron back home, right?
Yeah.
Back to his hometown team.
Cool. Absolutely. The Bay Area. Let's go.
That would not be a great move.
For who?
What's he talking
Nothing against Jimmy G, but that's not happening, obviously.
Whoa.
I guess nothing would surprise you, though, right? Does anything shock you anymore?
Hey, Mark Murphy says it's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting. No, I think Draft Spectacular this year is going to be active.
Yeah.
I mean, just with how active the offseason was, I think the draft night's going to be the same. I think it's a new generation of people in some positions of power, and I'm not saying everybody is going to act that way, but it feels like maybe there'll be some moves. Feels like we'll see some things happen. Some players will be like, hey, this is a good time for me to maybe get out of here. Week of the draft, say, hey, if anything comes up, I wouldn't mind going elsewhere. You're not going to sign me. Maybe DK Metcalf on the move.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
going to be some moves, I think, done by some GMs or front offices that it's either going to make or break their franchise. Like we're going to make this is kind of questionable. We don't know if this is going to work out. And if it works out, you look like a genius. And then some people, it's not going to work out and you're fired.
Isn't it awesome that we are talking about the draft and we are talking about only veteran players? That's what we're like, we're excited for like the vets to maybe get traded on draft night, see who moves there. We don't have a fucking clue about any of these guys. I guess Aiden Hutchinson, though, he and Travon Walker are now like a real conversation for who's going to go number one, even though Aiden Hutchinson had been number one since way back when they beat Ohio State, basically. It was being talked about in that game. Now Travon Walker is allegedly in the conversation. Although FanDuel still has the odds at minus 250 for Aiden Hutchinson, it seems like the Walker heat is really coming in. Is that strictly because all the bullshit that happens around the draft? Probably. But also, is it because this dude, I guess, is a freak? Mike Garafolo reporting that Travon Walker to the Jags at number one chatter, this time from Schrager. He's heard a lot of the chatter. Trent Baalke sees a lot of Alden Smith in Walker. We're 17 days away, now 16, and Baalke and the Jags are making their decision. So they're just having full conversations at this point about what they really want to do. They re-signed a tackle or franchise tagged a tackle, offensive tackle, so everybody thinks they're going D-line, defensive end. What if they go completely off the grid and go with somebody else? Give us the Jackson guy who's 6'4", 381. I always wonder how close everybody is to the whole situation because we've heard so many lies over the past on who's going where. This year it seems much more of a question mark than years past at the top.
We have, 16 days till the draft, correct?
Yes, sir. Draft spectacular,
Yeah, so between now and then, there's going to be all kinds of stuff that happens. But also, these GMs, these front office, the owners, I don't think they are squared away 100% on what's going to happen because so much depends on what happens around you.
Well, paralysis by analysis, too. You can overanalyze everything and kind of talk yourself out of a decision, too, I think,
Easy. I'm sure it's pretty easy to do that.
Especially if there's a couple people that are already in the group of like, yes, this isn't the right decision. And then you see something on tape that they'd been talking about. Hey, listen, I did. And they're like, oh, let's go check out Travon Walker now. We like this guy. Look what he did here. There's probably a lot of that happening. I would assume all of them would wish the draft was tomorrow. Like, let's get this over with.
Yes.
Almost. Yeah.
Think about it. If you're sitting there and you have to make you have to make a decision like this, the time would stand still, I feel like, because if you really are locked in on somebody you want, you're just praying nobody else takes that person. And some people, I'm sure, have no real clue what direction they should go.
Well, and also they have to think about all their other fucking picks, too.
Yeah.
So they have to do actual research on the entire draft while knowing that the pillars of the program are going to be picked on the first and second day or whatever, and we can't get that wrong. What a fascinating juggle of time management for all these fucking GMs.
Well, and last year, like leading up to the drafts, the first 3 picks were essentially locked in. And then day of the draft is when the third pick changed. Like even 1 and 2, Lawrence Wilson, I think that was basically since the end of college football season damn near that was definitely happening and there was no change. And obviously this year it's like, shit, anybody could go 1 right now, it feels like.
Hey, who would you take? AJ, after all the film you've watched, that Aiden Hutchinson guy beat the fuck out of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, he did.
This last year.
You got to go based on team needs, right? Best available, too. Well,
yeah, so number 1 overall, you're Jacksonville. Who are you going with?
Yeah, I'll probably take Hutchinson, actually.
Okay,
Really?
what are you watching Hutchinson's film?
Actually, I like Walker, too. What did I say? We walked into the national championship game. We're in a box on the 50, and within 30 seconds of walking in, I was like, are you kidding me? These Georgia guys are unbelievably fast and physical. Like they close ground so fast.
Yeah, and this dude, I guess, lost 20 pounds. They had him at inside. He loses 20 pounds, goes to the outside, and then just has massive production and can fly. So I feel like his upside, he still has a lot of room to go, which is what everybody's talking about. Like, we can still teach him a lot of things. Aiden Hutchinson, I don't know I haven't heard any conversation about him other than he is the number 1. And that's kind of an interesting spot. We talk about this with like it happens with LeBron James, happens with Aaron Rodgers. You get to a point where you're so fucking good that the conversation isn't about how good you are anymore. It's about like what you do wrong. Like, hey, this person, like LeBron James has been compared to Michael Jordan since he's like 22 years old. We didn't even get the old, hey, look how good this guy is. The LaMelo Ball highlights, like that was only like a year or two of LeBron's life. And then it was immediately, well, is he better than Michael Jordan? And let's tear him down. Boom, boom, boom. It's like that with Aaron Rodgers, I feel like. Everybody's like, yeah, we know he's great, but also he's an asshole, prima donna, missed this throw, did this. Like you get to that point where you're at the top where there's nothing good. It's like, yeah, you're assumed to be good, but now it's like take him down. It feels like that with like Aiden Hutchinson almost. For this entire draft, there's been zero conversation about him except for he's number 1 overall. And then now that somebody else is creeping in, it's like, well, he does seem to be a little bit quicker than Aiden Hutchinson is, and his upside's a lot bigger than Aiden Hutchinson. It's like, we haven't heard much positive about Aiden Hutchinson other than the motherfucker's going number 1 overall. It's an interesting situation. Joining us now is the quarterback guru for ESPN. You see him break down film. You see him do magical things. He wore a green jacket yesterday.
Oh, hell yeah. Masters guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Guy won the Masters. Ladies and gentlemen, Dahn Orlovsky.
Yeah!
What's up, dude?
What's up, Bob?
Hey, what's going on, man? Other way.
Here we go.
Hey, I met your friends Dude Perfect down there in Dallas, man. They said hello. They were big fans of yours.
Those are good dudes. Good dudes. Super talented guys.
Yeah.
And my kids love it. My kids absolutely love it.
Yeah, I told
They're
them.
a lot like you when it comes to just being like a good human being.
Well, they seemed like much better humans than me when I met them. I would just like to let that be known. But I told them that I watched their entire arena show through your Instagram stories one night. I was like, hey, you guys are doing live shows, selling tickets. That's genius business stuff. I actually watched an entire show through Orlovsky's IG story. They go, Orlovsky! Orlovsky's a good guy. They all loved Orlovsky. So I think that's good news. You're in with them. I think your kids will think you're super popular now.
We spend enough of money on their memorabilia and the stuff that they sell, so I would hope that I would be on that.
Hey, they got a good business going down there.
Oh, yeah. They got some smart people behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Smart people.
Well, I think also them too. I mean, let's not. I mean, behind the scenes, I guess give them credit, but yeah, they are absolutely crushing it. Let's talk about you, Dan. What are you looking forward to this draft? We were just chatting about it. The Trevon Walker to the number 1 overall pick chatter has really started up. Is it because we're 16 days away from the draft? Is it because people are seeing more upside, learning more about him? And what do we know about Aiden Hutchinson other than he's just the lock to be the number 1 overall pick, Dan Orlovsky?
Yeah, so I can't speak like football-wise a ton about these guys. I'm a quarterback, so I don't want to pretend to be something that I'm not. But I can tell you that I've called both Michigan and Georgia games this year. I actually called the first game of the season for Michigan this year, and then I think Michigan, Penn State. Aiden Hutchinson, like I think, is an absolute freakazoid athlete, and athletically, I'm not saying he's Myles Garrett, but this dude's numbers, when you watch his combine and then you watch the athleticism on tape, from an offensive perspective, you sit there and you go, I have no idea what we're going to do with this guy pass blocking wise. You know, like, can we really block him one-on-one? And the Walker conversation, it's interesting because, you know, AJ, you played against that early 2000 Miami's team, the Miami Hurricanes. I don't know how old
02.
AJ is exactly.
Yeah, 2002.
So I played against that team and went defensive. They had like 7 guys go drafted in the first round on defense, right? They were just out of this world. And watching the Georgia tape this year, I remember thinking to myself, like, they look like the early 2000 Miami's defense. You couldn't do anything against them. So I started making calls. Like, to, you know, getting ready for the games, I started making calls to people being like, how many first rounders is Georgia going to have from their defense this year? And everybody, coaches, other people who call their games, they're like, they're going to have like 1, maybe 2. And I was sitting there going, how does a defense that dominant only have 1 or 2? And, you know, kind of the way they talked about it was everybody's performance was so high that the sum was greater than the individual parts, at least in their eyes. And that kind of took me by surprise. And then I think some of the numbers for some of these guys, like Walker, might be down stat-wise. I'm not going to tell you the team, but I remember having a conversation with the coach this year, getting ready to play them. And he was like, honestly, we're just going to try to run the ball, huddle, take as much time off the clock as we can, because we know we have no chance of success against them.
Oh, that's awesome. What was your success rate against that Miami team in 02?
Threw the first touchdown pass of the season against them. No big deal. We went up 7-0 on the road. We lost 49-7.
Hey, they were just waking up from the night before, it seemed like, whenever you were. You know, they were just kind of.
That defense was like Sean Taylor, God rest his soul, Kelly Jennings, Antro Roll, Jonathan Vilma, McDougal, that team was just, they were unbelievable.
How'd you score a touchdown on him? You felt pretty good about yourself, huh? Oh, Dan, you were feeling your.
Threw a seam route, no big deal.
All right, let's talk about some quarterbacks. This draft class, I guess, is absolutely nothing, right? Is that what people were saying? Although I've seen you post some videos, I feel like you have a different perspective on these quarterbacks than maybe the overall conversation about them. Now, a lot of these quarterbacks coming into the draft look a lot better now than they did before free agency to some of the teams that weren't able to score a veteran quarterback. I assume that's why a lot of conversations happening. Are any of these guys plug and play day one in your eyes? And why has the conversation gone the way it's gone?
I think the only guy that is probably plug and play would be Kenny Pickett, and I don't think it's plug and play well.
What about his hand size? That ball can't hold a football.
Yeah, have you got just, I love that conversation. What we're concerned about is hand size. Okay, then watch him throw the ball and tell me if it's still a concern. I think here's my take on some of these top guys. I don't believe any of these guys are first-round physical talents outside of Malik Willis. And even that is a risk. I think that Malik Willis is a guy that, since he is so physically talented, and you watch his tape and you watch him make plays and throws that look like some of the young stars at that position in the NFL now, he's the only guy that has that. Now, he's also under 6'1", and that's going to give you hesitation for the crowd that tells me, well, Baker Mayfield was drafted 1 and Kyler Murray was drafted 1 and they're short. Sure, I think that there's probably some question marks out there about those guys and on the football field. So, I think that gives you the hesitation of Willis. Obviously, where he played is going to be a part of the conversation. Kenny Pickett is a lot like Sam Darnold without the interceptions.
Without the interceptions.
Crazy talent athletically. Can make some really cool throws. My hesitation with Kenny Pickett is twofold. Number one, Pitt ran the same play offensively like 50 times, not 50, like 20 times a game.
Whipple. No, he ran over the sideline, got a new play call every single time.
Yeah, I mean, that's maybe it's saying different formation, but it was the same play call. So you would expect him to do well in that, right? It's like his 5th year in college. You would expect him to do well. He's also mechanically really poor. My question is if you're a 4-year starter, how are you still mechanically that poor?
Dan!
That would give what?
What is the deal? I didn't know it's turning into a roast session. Kenny
Pickett stinks.
Kenny Pickett's our guy. It's 4-1-2.
I literally 3 minutes ago I said he's probably the plug and play guy.
Yeah, but this is the sandwich thing. This is like to say something nice, wham, and then bang.
It's my job to be honest, Pat.
Why is his form trash, you think? And that obviously means a lot on accuracy, consistency, longer game, right? A longer season. These are all things that I assume start plugging in there once you start saying, well, his form is interesting.
Yeah, and I think that as a young player, you can get away with that stuff in the league for a short period of time. But to be consistently good, those are things that you're going to have to address. Like Tony Romo is my kind of comparison for Pickett. And Romo mechanically got a lot better as he got older in the NFL. Now, can you get better with that stuff for Kenny Pickett? Absolutely. But that's why, though, I think those conversations with, kind of the NFL are so important because, again, my question would be, why am I going to believe that you're going to get better at this stuff when you're a 4-year starter and you haven't really gotten better at it? I got to figure that out. Is it are you not doing it? Is it just your style? Is it when the live bullets come, all that kind of goes away? I want to figure that stuff out. And it's not all that. His situation for me is not all that different than like the Daniel Jones a couple years ago when he went 6 to the Giants. There's a lot that you like about him, but then you go, okay, what's the issue that's going to hold him back? And the issue that's going to hold him back is that mechanical stuff that makes him late. He misses throws. He leaves pockets that are clean. He drifts in the pocket. Is he gonna fix that? Because Daniel hasn't fixed his turnovers yet. Desmond Ridder is intriguing to me because Desmond Ridder is so advanced when it comes to quarterbacking in comparison to like the other 3 or 4 guys. He is by far the best when he knows, okay, I break the huddle. This is my play. I got to be ready to get into this check in the run or change this protection. This is the coverage. This is where I got to go with the football. So he's by far the best, and that's probably the guy you feel most comfortable with.
Ain't that what we're looking for?
Well, but no, not in the NFL anymore, Pat. That's the thing. Like in the last 2 or 3 years, it's flipped, man. Like because, I used to be the guy. Here's the thing. Like if you look at the young stars at that position in the NFL, it is Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes,
Kyler,
Justin Herbert. These guys are physically freaks of nature. I mean, they're monsters physically. They got massive arms, but then they have the intellectual aspect, and then they have the off-the-charts athleticism. Ridder doesn't have the massive arm and the big kind. He's long and lean rather than this big 6'5", 240-pound guy.
It's the way you say it, I think. I think it's the way you say it.
What?
He can get better at the deep ball. Like he can, there's a way to paint it in there as opposed to being like, well, listen, Ridder got a baby arm. That's what you just said. That's what you just said. That's what you just said about him.
I like Ridder. I do.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's what it sounds.
Are you gonna take him? Are you gonna take him and give him $30 million with the 6th pick?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm on GM. Sorry.
First round pick this
year. So if you're a GM. If you're the Carolina Panthers and you have the 6th pick and you got to play against Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford and Kyler Murray,
Tom Brady,
and
Tom Brady.
Those are only the guys in the NFC. Do you feel great about that?
Jameis Winston, Tom Brady,
Mariota,
Marcus Mariota.
Tom Brady. No. Do you feel great about that? That's your question. Like with the second round pick, I feel a lot better about it. With the 6th pick of the draft, I'm picking you to be an absolute rock star, and that's where I think you get hung up with these guys. Other than Malik Willis, he's the only one that has physical traits that you go, I can't coach that.
Go ahead, AJ. Sorry about it.
Dane, I saw a thing where Malik Willis was, I believe he was pressured more than pretty much anybody in college, and he had to, bail out of the pocket and scramble and make plays. Is that, if you were a GM, would that worry you that he doesn't have enough reps just standing in the pocket and, hitching and slinging it?
Northern Iowa, Kurt Warner.
Boom. That's right.
No, because I think the situations when they presented themselves on a relatively consistent basis, he did that. I think that's why guys like Malik are relatively difficult evaluations. Matt Corral from Ole Miss is in this as well and Sam Howell from Carolina. These offenses are very much so play with tempo, get to the line of scrimmage. We're going to call a play. It's more often than not going to be relatively a quick game or one pass, an RP or one read, an RPO. We're going to throw hitches and shots. And I don't think that those guys, that's what those coaches did that was best for the offense. I don't think it's necessarily the best for the player. It's best for their collegiate offense. And I think that when, Malik Willis, if you watch the tape and you see it presented, you go, oh, he's going from 1 to 2 there. Like, yeah, okay, he realizes the safety goes over the top, so he takes the whole shot. Or I think that, for the small body of work that he was asked to do that stuff or demanded to do that stuff, I thought he did it relatively well.
I don't want to say this as – actually, I could have played probably multiple positions at the level that Liberty is at, so I will say this wide open. He played against terrible football players, right? I mean, is that even a thought? I mean, that is the big thing in Pittsburgh because Steelers allegedly in the quarterback market. Maybe Tomlin was visiting with everyone in classic Mark Madden, Liberty. Who is he playing against? He's playing against nobody. Is there things you can take away from the film of like the level? Like, is that not something that I assume a lot of people are taking into place? And that's not Malik Willis's fault because he wasn't recruited properly. The guy's a stud. We saw him at the combine and everything like that. But that has to be some sort of drawback, right? Or is there some place that you can kind of pick through that?
No, yeah, it absolutely is a part of the way you're looking at it. I think you have to start with when you were at Auburn, because he started at Auburn. Why couldn't you get on the field? What? And politics might play its part. I don't know. I think that's part of the conversation you have to ask is what kept you off the field at Auburn within the SEC.
And politics do happen, by the way. That does happen.
Of course they do, yes. I mean, especially in college football nowadays when, hey, you're the pick and we paid you this much money to come, or, if I don't play you, you were the more highly recruited player, but if I don't play you, then you're going to leave, so I'll play you and I'll just lose this guy who I think might be good, but you're more important, all that stuff. So I think that's got to be part of your question. Here's my thing. I always say this. I want to watch what it looks like rather than kind of the end result of it. The end result is so dependent on all the other moving parts. When you're playing quarterback, I want to know when Malik Willis drops back. Here, I'm going to go hang on, give me 10 seconds, Patrick.
What the hell's going on? DoorDash.
I can tell you with Malik Willis.
He's got your notebook?
Get your book out, Patrick.
We thought it was DoorDash, dude. Yeah. We thought it was DoorDash. I had no idea.
I don't have enough.
It's not like Epstein's.
Yeah. So I can tell you with Malik Willis.
It's a red.
When he plays against Troy, you're going, okay, you should be dominant. I want to see you be dominant. I want to see you be the reason your team wins the football game, and he does that. When they play against Old Dominion, competition stink, but I need you to be dominant. All right, so when you played against Syracuse, how did you play? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plays that I charted as NFL difference-making plays. Well, that's a lot.
That's ACC.
UAB,
Dino
UAB, good defense, very good college defense. You should play well. You did. Middle Tennessee, you should dominate. ULM, very good defense. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 big-time plays. North Texas, UMass, you should dominate. Ole Miss, when everyone says, well, he struggled against Ole Miss, I'm sitting there going, the first play of the game was really good. 18, 26, 30, 35, 40, 45, 75, 84, 2 minutes, like these teams.
Dane, what's an NFL play? How's that separate itself for you? What's an NFL play look like?
I think it's got to be, first of all, athletically. You know, do you do something athletically that I sit there and I go, you made this defender miss, or you outran the defense, or you got yourself out of trouble when your offensive line sucked and you threw the ball 50 yards downfield. And I don't care if the guy's wide open, but if the defender's in very good coverage, is that more than likely still going to be a completion? You know, that's part of it for me, AJ. You know, do you see the coverage rotate and know where to throw the football, and then do you throw it with like the right hitch and timing and tempo and trajectory and all those things that I sit there and I go, yeah, I watched Justin Herbert make that throw, or I watch a Patrick make that throw, and it's got to look like those guys. And I think that's probably, you know, that's why I think the thing that allows Malik Willis to stand out is I don't know if I could count on one hand. I don't know if I can tell you this. Matt Corral does not have 5 of those plays. And I'm not taking shots at Matt Corral. He doesn't have 5 of those. Kenny Pickett probably has, you know, somewhere around 8 to 10, maybe. Ritter probably somewhere in that number range, where Malik has got 2 plays every game like that.
Okay. All right. So you watched every single play of all these guys' season last year?
I watched every single play so far of Malik, Kenny Pickett, Ritter, Corral, and Howell.
Okay, so this is what you're doing in the offseason right now, just studying the next generation of quarterbacks, and then are you thinking to yourself, these guys kind of stink compared to what's going on in the NFL right now? Because I feel like we've gotten very lucky with young quarterbacks hitting. I mean, Mac Jones seemed like a 14-year vet last year whenever he was playing. Joey Burrow, I think his first year he played really good, got hurt. Everybody's like, that's a guy. Second year, he takes him to the fucking Super Bowl. Like in the wide receiver department as well, there's been a lot of young guys who have done well. Are we just getting lucky with a couple of classes, or do you think there is going to be a lot of younger quarterbacks that kind of step in and play well?
Probably both, but I think it's a little bit more of those players being very special. I mean, Joe Burrow, the way he was raised, the kind of the trials and tribulations and the challenges he went through, that helped him. Herbert staying for 4 years and kind of grooming his ability. I think that some of these players, you know, they've learned how important it is to go through the difficulty of stuff and to use it to, you know, make them better players, candidly. I think next year's quarterback class coming out of college is going to be just as good as this past one. I think the C.J. Stroud kid from Ohio State, Bryce Young, Caleb Williams from USC, I think that's why I think, Pat, like if you're the Detroit Lions at 2, are you sitting there going, Malik Willis, we cannot pass on him, this is the no-brainer? Or do you sit there and be honest about your football?
We'll be top 5 again next year. Yeah, we suck. We're Detroit.
Got to get it started.
Well, yeah, be honest about your football team. We're not there yet. We're just in phase 2 of the rebuild. And I think these other 3 kids coming at least are going to be just as good, if not better. And I think that's where these general managers are interesting right now, is because, again, if you're an AFC general manager and you know that you have to play against those 5 absolute rock stars that are young, like, you got to go find yourself a rock star, man. You can't find a good player.
Yeah, that's why you get Matt Ryan. That's why you bring Matt Ryan out of Atlanta. I don't want to ask you about how you think Matt Ryan's going to do. I know you think he's going to be great. I know that's the case, right? Because you're a big brain guy. You're the ESPN quarterback guru. You think Matt Ryan found a perfect home here in Indianapolis. But let's talk about you think he's unbelievable. He can make every single throw.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to make that team better. That's what Dan Orlovsky's been saying. I heard it. I appreciate it. You don't have to get that, back into it yet again. There was a stat that came out from CBS Sports yesterday that was interesting. The last 16 quarterbacks who lose the Super Bowl in their first appearance never made it back to the Super Bowl. Joey Burrow is obviously somebody that debunks a lot of different theories and myths, including taking the Cincinnati Bengals from a 4-win team to the fucking Super Bowl. I mean, it is unbelievable what he's been able to accomplish. And you talk about his trial and his tribulations. Who are some other quarterbacks you think that'll be able, like Josh Allen has to make a play right at this. Like at some point, Josh Allen's going to make it to the Super Bowl. And they're changing rules because of how good Josh Allen is. And you talk about Joey Burrow. You talk about Lamar Jackson. You talk about Patrick Mahomes. Mac Jones Jones was somebody you left off the list, but he's unbelievable. The AFC right now, who's going to win the most, you think, out of those? Who's going to be the representative 10 years from now that we look back and we're like, they held down the AFC? Or do you think it will be a parity-driven conference over the next 10 years?
I do think it'll be about parity. I think the Buffalo Bills, as it sits right now, we'll see what happens in the draft, are the team to beat in the NFL. Certainly, obviously, in the AFC. I think that the really interesting team that could throw a whole wrench in this is Kansas City. I got into this a little bit the other day. I think they're the most fascinating team in the NFL draft. I mean, this is a team that's gone to 4 straight AFC title games, and they lost their defensive leader and their second best player, and they had 2 number 1 picks, 2 number 2 picks, 2 number 3 picks, and 2 number 4 picks. I understand that the draft is about misses, but, out of those 8 picks, I think all 8 of those picks are in the top, I want to say, like 120 players in the draft. I mean, if they get 5 really good players, they're the team to beat for the next half dozen years because they got the best coach, the best offensive line, and the best quarterback. And that's why I said I think that, Kansas City's draft has got a chance to be not only franchise-altering but NFL-altering because let's say they hit on a bunch of those draft picks. That is now going to be the formula for organizations. All right, we got a young superstar quarterback. Let's pay him a bunch of money, and then we got to find our one piece that we feel we can flip for a bunch of picks to rebuild our roster.
Dane, is the Dolphins going to win the Super Bowl and Tua win the MVP this year?
There we go.
No.
Tyreek?
Whoa!
Jesus!
Dane, what's that all about?
How good are they going to be this first year?
Put him on Cuck Mountain, dude.
What's that about?
This guy. Why no hope for the Dolphins? They're turning that whole place around down there.
I mean, saying is there hope for the Dolphins and asking me if Tua's going to win the MVP and the Super Bowl aren't necessarily the same thing.
Playoffs.
Tua's probably win the MVP. That's right.
I would tell you this, and this is not going to go over exceedingly well, but I'll tell you this. I would be more willing to bet on the Dolphins making the playoffs, given what the odds would be, Pat. You know the gambling world better than I, than New England.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Why is that?
There you go. Dead.
I think the world of Mike McDaniel, their new head coach. I think Tyreek Hill is a huge get. I think their offensive line is going to be a lot better than it has been. Their defense is still be stacked. I get concerned with New England and who in the fudge is calling their plays. I don't get what New England's doing. I don't understand that they don't have a person on their offensive staff has ever called a play in the NFL, to my knowledge.
Dude, doesn't matter.
Like that gives me big time hesitation about what they're going to get done.
I saw you talk about that, how that was your most alarming thing happening in the NFL was who's going to be the offense coordinator. And you talked about the people who have been in the ear of the other young quarterbacks who have done very well. Didn't Mac Jones teach Bill O'Brien the offense at Alabama, and then he taught Cam Newton the offense? Isn't it just Bill Belichick and Mac Jones making this whole thing happen next year? That's alarming to you, you think?
Well, I'm pretty sure Steve Sarkisian called the plays for Mac Jones at Alabama, not Bill O'Brien.
Absolute asshat.
Listen, do a little more research, please.
I'm pretty sure it was Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah, but he taught the offense to Bill O'Brien, dude.
Yeah, I mean, teaching the offense and then calling plays are very different. Teaching the offense.
Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's calling the plays.
All right. Well, I mean, maybe I'll be proven wrong in that. I'm just telling you. Would you feel great if Kyle Shanahan became the defensive coordinator of the 49ers?
I think there'd be a reason. I'm like, all right, well, I assume he knows. That guy knows how to call offenses. But it is interesting that he's taking that approach. Well, I would assume that Mac knows who's going to be calling plays right now, right? They know, you would think.
I would imagine, unless they have something else in the works that we just don't know about that's going to get, put together later. I don't know, but I still can't sit here and say I feel good about that. If it was anybody else but New England, I'd be like, they have absolutely no shot. But it still gives me a massive amount of concern that a quarterback in his second year without a dominant wide receiver is going into a season and the play caller isn't like doesn't have the kind of experience of actually calling plays within a game.
What type of amateur bullshit you guys running out?
this ain't the first time.
Go ahead, Tone.
I mean, the coach that might be calling plays called quarterback sneak on 3rd and 10 this year.
Joe Judge, he was trying to get the punter into the game. Please, have a little respect for the flow of the game. Go ahead, Tone.
Dan, Pat's super pumped. The Colts may draft Sam Howell because he's very similar to Baker Mayfield. Is he actually very similar to Baker Mayfield? He just looks similar.
Probably looks similar, but also I would tell you this: short, stocky, massive arm. Baker. He's way more athletic than Baker, though. Way more athletic than Baker. I don't think he's got as elite ball placement as Baker, but a much more athletic a much more athletic player.
Yeah, dude. But Baker was, he was thrown with a sling last year. That's
right.
He's going to be all the way back. You know what I mean?
Police officer did catch him.
Well, that's what I was thinking immediately whenever he said that he's more athletic. I'm like, well, Sam Howell gets away from that cop, probably jumps up onto that brick wall, and he's out of there. But they're a little boozed up. Who knows what Sam Howell be thinking at that time. Dan, we can't thank you enough for joining us, buddy. We appreciate you. Who's winning the Super Bowl next year?
I'll tell you after the draft.
Doesn't matter. These young kids don't care. They don't matter. These kids don't matter. Look at the teams that win. It's all vets. Boom, bum, 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 bum.
Good point. 2 years ago, the Kansas City Chiefs kind of proved that wrong, or 3 years ago, but...
Nah, but Patrick Mahomes, 10 years in the NFL after his first year, he sat for a year. They're just boom, boom, boom. All the vets win. That's all that matters. Trade every pick away. Who cares about any of these rookies? Literally.
What do you think the Packers are going to do?
Well, they said it's going to get interesting. Everybody thinks they're going to move. Ty, what do you think?
They better draft a fucking wide receiver, Dan. I'll tell you that much. But they tend to zig when everyone else zags, so we'll see.
I think they need to get 2. Who'd be the one receiver you want them to get?
I don't know. We'll see who's available. I mean, I'd love one of the Ohio State guys.
Keenan Allen or Julio Jones.
Yeah, the
vets.
The vets would be
faster.
Great.
Keenan Allen.
How about DK Metcalf? I saw D-Butt say he would never trade a 10 overall for DK Metcalf, and I assume that's because these younger wide receivers have really proven themselves to be great, and they're not as expensive. Is that what he's thinking, you think?
Yeah, I mean, if you told me Garrett Wilson or DK Metcalf, I'd tell you Garrett Wilson. If you told me DK Metcalf or Drake London from USC, I think I'd go DK Metcalf because I think they're both similar players. I just have seen DK do it in the NFL, and I don't know. The Drake London kid reminds me a lot of DeAndre Hopkins a little bit. Whoa. I don't know if he's going to be as good as Hop, but he reminds me.
Give me that guy.
Hey, we would like Nuke if we could get him on the team. Dan, we appreciate you. We'll check you out on ESPN every single day. You crush it. You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Orlovsky.
Come on, Dan!
Hour 2 wrapping up here. We'll have to digest everything Dan just said. Let's go football talk.
Hell yeah.
Great.
How about him watching more film than Russell Wilson? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Unbelievable.
We're back at about 10. We'll see you then. Hour 3 will be a lot of phone calls. You are the best. Fucking.
Nailed it.
Bam.
Can't believe the Patriots are dead.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah,
for
sure.
Oh, my God. Patriots are dead, it sounds like. But from Dan Orlovsky. T4 is in hour 3.
Oh, yes.
Boom! Yes, dude.
A lot of phone calls, though.
Bro, season 3 of T4.
Yeah. Edge of my seat.
Episode 1.
Hell yes.
Let's go, dude. We're getting back
what
into
is this
basketball.
T4 about?
See?
Tony Bucket's Tasty Tournament Talk.
Hell yeah.
Season 4, NBA playing games tonight, starting to playoff. It's a tournament.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. This is hey Diggs, how you feel?
He's
fuming.
He's focused. He's focused.
Oh no, my bad.
He's coded
dialed
right
in.
now.
Okay,
Yeah,
my bad,
coded.
Diggs.
He's coded
Do
right
your
now.
thing.
He said, are you confident? Do you feel good or no?
Absolutely. Watched all 82 of every game of every team this year in the NBA.
Well, that's the thing about T4. We don't know what's real and what isn't. You know,
That's right.
because season 2 is fucking awesome.
It was unbelievable.
Season 1 seemed to mail it in a little bit.
Yeah.
No woman's
No.
No,
It was like a pilot.
No matter, I've never mailed in a T.
You did.
What?
You did.
You did.
You
Little
did.
bit.
We didn't talk about South Carolina one time. They fucking won
We
the
didn't.
championship. We had to talk
They
about
weren't
the
in the tournament.
Yeah. Well, there's a problem.
I mean, yeah.
That's what we're talking about. That is what we're
Jesus,
talking
Tony.
That's your issue.
How dare you?
Anyways, the NBA and WNBA will be chatted about in T4, right?
I hope so.
Has to be.
Big WNBA news last night.
Yeah. Huge. Draft is like a tournament.
How about the Indiana Fever just having 10 picks in the first 10 picks?
How the fuck does that work? I was
Well, we're
asking
the best.
Well,
that's what we do.
Yeah.
Let's go Fever.
There's only
Feel the fever.
There's 12 picks, and the goddamn Fever got a third of them.
Yeah.
How the hell? How are we growing the league?
Because we run the fucking league, dude. This is a Fever time.
What about the fucking New York Liberty? The Chicago Sky.
They're gonna have to
Go
catch
Sky.
up, lose more games.
You're
That's
not
all
an
we-
Aces fan?
Huh?
Not a Vegas Aces fan?
Nah, fuck them.
What?
Thought you were a
Who's your
Knights-
team?
No, I
Knights
love
Aces.
Dahn. I love Dahn.
She went number one overall last night?
No, Ryan.
She's
wasn't.
fucking
This is unbelievable.
multi-time
Tell Dahn-
MVP.
Dahn
Come
is a
on.
champ. This guy. is-
Ryan Howard.
Ryan.
Ryan.
Ryan Howard.
Ryan.
Number 1 overall to the
Ryan
Atlanta
Fire.
Dream, dude.
Never a doubt.
Never a doubt. Pittsburgh Maulers have a fucking cool mascot.
Yeah, the Mauler.
Kyle
They do.
Lauletta is going to bring us a ship.
USFL, dude. That thing's kicking off.
Can't
Wait till
wait.
that tournament talk.
Oh.
That's next week, fresh out of Birmingham. Tony, USFL's tasty USFL talk.
Well, the playoffs actually start next
I think that
week.
is the actual, I think the season is the playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's go out there, Pittsburgh Maulers.
Can't wait.
All right. Next hour, we got T4 Season 3. Talking
Gonna
about
give him a
the-
heart attack.
Who? The Maulers or Tony?
Diggs.
A lot of pressure.
We
on
know.
him.
We know he's got that little baby heart that can't have caffeine. We don't want to mess with that.
Holy shit. You just hard shamed the guy. All right?
Facts are
Trying
facts.
to take care of the guy.
Facts are facts. Thank you, AJ.
No, there's no caffeine in this. This is just good T4.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Season 3 in about 10 minutes. We can't thank
Put
you
the
enough.
whoop strap on him.
The whoop?
See what his heart rate gets too.
I was lied to by that Aura ring, I guess.
What do you mean?
Really?
Why?
Apparently, it's not that accurate, I guess.
Oh,
Says
no.
who? Studies?
Yeah. But then I looked and they're like, wear it for 3 weeks so it can set a baseline on you. It's like, all right, I need my information now if I'm wearing this thing. I ain't got 3 weeks to wait. So I gave up on it. Maybe it's my fault, not Aura's fault.
It sounds like it's kind of their fault.
Why is everyone got to lie?
Well, I assume that's real. You know, like, hey, we got to get a baseline for you, but 21 days, that's a new habit starting.
Give me a break.
And it feels much different on my thing other than the silicone thing. You know, it's a whole life changer.
You don't need it.
And then the whoop, you got to wear a bracelet around your forearm.
Yeah.
Who's doing that?
You just got to get an Apple
They
Watch.
got a
Put
bicep
the
watch.
gold one on there and make it look like a Rolex. You
Yeah,
know?
but that doesn't tell you the same stuff.
Yeah, it does.
It tells your heart rate. That's really all you need, right?
My one friend's life got saved from his Apple Watch.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had, what's that, AFib?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And the Apple Watch was like, you're gonna die, you're gonna die.
Mhm.
What is
Wow.
this?
Calls 911.
Goes to the hospital, gets open heart surgery that day. Saved his life.
Congrats to the Apple Watch. Like that commercial when people are calling, they can't reach their phone, they yell to their watch like, "Hey, I fell down a hole."
Well,
I'm
and
stuck.
sometimes even just like if it doesn't sense movement and like you crash or something, it'll call 911 without you even saying anything.
Shout out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was laying on my couch the other day. It happened.
That's not a good thing.
It's like an "Are you still watching?" You've been here a long time. That's like FanDuel. If you're on there too long, they'd be like,
Reality check.
"You've been on here for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Don't you think
Gambled.
it's time to get on out of here?" That's very nice of them to do that. FanDuel Face-Off, by the way, have you gotten in there?
I have not.
It's the best.
Merged my accounts yet.
I'm getting good. I got got by somebody at Wheel of Fortune last night. There was a fucking wizard. I don't know.
And they did add the $20
I
games.
tell you what, you win a couple 20s in a row, they will send a ringer at you your way.
Yeah, they'll let you know.
Mhm.
It's like NFL Street back in the day. If you're leading and then there'll be a pick and a big thing out of nowhere. It's
Yeah,
like Mario Kart. You have
Yeah.
a blue shell's coming if you're
Yeah.
too far in the lead. FanDuel Face-Off got that. They put a puzzle in front of me last night. I was like, I don't even know these words.
Yeah, not a chance.
What is this? And the guy got like 19,000 or something.
Oh.
That's a high.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that sounds like a bot.
That's,
Could be.
Can't have that.
No, that's
No.
that would be fair and unjust, and this is fair and just.
Yeah, it is regulated.
Can't be putting up a high score in one of those and still getting beat.
I put up like 15, 16.
I was going to say that's what you
I
can.
felt so good, and then 19 came in, and it's like, I'm like, so you
Oh, wait.
what? How got that as high as I thought?
Hit 1,000 right away and then solve the puzzle.
This fucking person. All right, we're back at 5. See hour 3. T4 on the other side. Wow.
Hell
everybody
yeah.
get
Woo.
excited. Be a friend. Tell a friend. Oh.
weekly story when Pat comes on.
Yes.
There we go.
So this is my bedtime story right now.
There's a couple refs that you just have it out for, or they have it out for you. And I'm like, before the game, I get the paper, I look, I see who the referees are. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna get a penalty called against me for sure in this game. And so I'll just say this: Bill McCreary.
Wild Bill.
We
Wild
fucking
Bill.
hate that guy, dude.
No, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. And I run into him actually in Pittsburgh all the time. So I'm playing in New Jersey, and Bill, there's like a whatever. The other team trips one of our guys, like a blatant call that's missed. I stand up on the bench. What you do just to be an asshole. I stand up on the bench, take my stick over the board, just boom, 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 boom. I mean, you can hear it through the arena, right? Just boom, boom, boom. Like, come on! It shows him up, right? Come on! And all of a sudden, I see Bill just look across. He goes, boom, and he's got like this heavy mustache, like this. His mustache, he's just eyeballing me across the way. And he looks at me. I'm standing up. I'm banging my stick. I'm like, fuck you, whatever. So then the play goes on, and I'm tying my skates. I'm on the bench. I'm going like this. I bend down. I'm tying my skates. So like the top of the boards is right here. My head's down. TV timeout. All of a sudden, I hear shh. Someone stops right here, and I look up, and Bill McCreary's like eyeball to eyeball with me, and he goes, are you showing me up? You want to fucking go? You want to go? And he goes like this. I swear to God, he goes like this. He backs away from me. Let me grab my mic. He backs away from me from the bench, and he goes like this. Come on. And I stand up and I go, Bill, are you challenging me to a fucking fight? I'm like, you asshole, you think I can't? If I fight you, I'll never play a game in this league again. He goes, let's go. Come on, let's go, tough guy. And I'm like, my mind is going like in circles. I'm like, do I fight this guy? Like, come back. Or what am I supposed to do? He totally won. He knew I couldn't do anything. And I'm just like, I just got to him. I was like, you know what? I'm like, fuck you. And I sat down, and then it was like, I was like, he totally just dominated me right there. And then the next game we played, I was taking the opening face-off of the game. He's dropping the puck. He's standing there before the puck drop. I look at him. He looks at me. I look at him. He looks at me. And then finally, I go, hey, Bill. I go, Billy, let's bury the hatchet, man. I'm sorry. I got away from myself last game. I got away from myself last game. Like, this isn't, I don't treat referees like that. And he goes, no, I did too. I let the heat of the moment get the best of me. All right, man. Truce. All right, cool. Truce. Drops the puck by the end of the first period. We're fuck you.
This seems to be a thing with you.
I run into him all the time. He's a great dude, but that's how it is, man. He's got to fight his fights out there too to save face.
Oh, Rob,
should I have fought him? Yeah. Probably not.
I mean, pretty good content. You fight a ref, but also like probably banned forever. I assume.
Yeah, probably.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to hour 3 of this 4-1 Coup Day. Shout out Pittsburgh. Sports show that's about to dive into Congress shit. Shall begin now.
Hell yeah!
To my left, your right, AJ Hawk, the face of Ohio. That home plate face with an incredible jawline, ready to run through anybody, is a Super Bowl champion, and we're thankful he's here. One half of the Hammer, Dahn Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here, Boston Connor's here, Ty Schmidt, all the boys in the back, we appreciate you. If you open your Twitter right now, Dan Snyder is trending everywhere. And although we tried to learn as much as we possibly could when this was initially reported, it feels like more and more has been sent from the Oversight Committee to the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC. So the Oversight Committee has been doing an investigation, and they got a guy named Friedman, who's the former vice president of the Washington football team, to testify about everything that has been happening. So not only was there money being hid from other NFL owners in the rev share department of ticket sales, they were hiding that money in college games and other events. So whenever he was initially reported that the juice goes to Navy Notre Dame would play at FedEx Field, but money that was stolen from ticketing that was in NFL games would then be allocated to there so that the NFL couldn't get their hands on it because it was a college football game. I guess that happened with a lot of different events and ticket sales. So the initial reports were that 2 different books were coming out. So Snyder and the Washington football team, through their history, they had their book that they probably had to run through the goddamn government taxes and everything. Then there was a book that they would present to the NFL about money that was made, and that was wrong. They were skimming, I guess, money out of that so they didn't have to share as much with the entire NFL ownership. If what we are reading from this investigation is accurate, I assume Snyder will have an answer, and Snyder's probably going to have to sell his team quickly after all this shit comes out, because also it is being reported that they would make it impossible for people to get their security deposits back, which were multiple thousands of dollars people would have to put down to buy their season tickets. I guess there was direct reporting or directing from Snyder to make it impossible for people to get their security deposits back. Like, hey, don't accept it via email. They have to do all these other things. So they would get people's security deposits and then make it impossible for people to get back after they got their season tickets. So that was allegedly like $5 million worth of shit. So not only are they bamboozling other owners, now they're potentially fucking over their fans. And I would assume there's other stuff that's going to come to light. Snyder's trending right now, and it is worse than I think any of us thought it was financially, even though morally all the exposés that came out would lead us to believe that they would be fucking over their business owners or business partners if they could, AJ. It is only a matter of time, it feels like, before the Commanders are under new ownership.
Absolutely. It feels like if any of this is true, then how does he keep the team? But is this a criminal investigation or is this just civil right now? Where are we?
I'm not 100% sure how this entire investigation began. I wonder if it all came from the exposés about what was going on behind closed doors in their culture and environment. And then that just kind of led them to this and other reports and investigations. And
was he subpoenaed? This guy subpoenaed by somebody to go testify?
The Oversight Committee, I do believe, the Congressional Oversight Committee is right. Is that what it's called? Yeah. The Oversight Committee that the former Washington Commanders Vice President Jason Friedman told the Oversight Committee that the Commanders had 2 sets of books and intentionally allocated NFL revenue to non-NFL events at FedEx Field, concerts, college games, etc., so that it wouldn't be part of the NFL's revenue sharing pool. This comes from a tweet. The U.S. House Oversight Committee has sent a 20-page letter to the Federal Trade Commission saying the Washington Commanders and owner Daniel Snyder may have engaged in a troubling, long-running, and potentially unlawful pattern of financial conduct. So, morally, what was being talked about in that building was terrible.
Right.
Okay? Absolutely terrible. Business ethics, I think we're all fucked up in the way you operate. But once it gets into the finances as well as that, I mean, it feels like it's only a matter of time. But I guess he was really running quite a fucking racket over there, which makes sense with what everybody else was saying about how the building was run as a whole,
But he's screwing over the other owners. He's screwing over the people you can't mess with.
This dude's a scumbag.
Yeah. What's that?
This dude's a scumbag, it sounds like.
I mean, isn't that what people have been saying forever? I feel like, does anyone stand up and defend Dan Snyder when it comes to anything?
We have never. Okay, I'll say something about anybody basically on this show, negative, and I'll get somebody that'll send me like, hey, actually good dude or whatever. Depending on who it is. It could be long. I mean, we talk about a lot of stuff on this show. But it will be from all different genres, all different fields, top to bottom. I'll get somebody, if somebody says something negative, and they'll go like, hey, actually, pretty good dude. I don't think we have ever, I don't think I've ever heard anybody be like, Snyder's actually a pretty good guy. Kind of misunderstood. Feels like everybody fucking hates the guy. And I would assume it's because of shit like this. Here's a tweet from Warren Sharp. Whoa, this is big, he says. For the last decade, since 2012, Dan Snyder has underreported ticket revenue per the investigation. He raised prices and categorized surplus revenue as bogus licensing fees related to concerts, college football games to prevent sharing with other owners. So this is the juice that he was putting on, what he was telling them they were selling tickets for. That whole 55 and 44, I don't think was the actual numbers. Feels like the NFL numbers were probably much different because NFL tickets are differently. Then they would just take that money and put it to somewhere else so they didn't even have to talk about it. Wow. Wow. And all these other business owners, all these other billionaires, all these other cutthroat motherfuckers that hire the best negotiators on earth, by the way, the NFL. That's why you have 31 billionaires, lawyers and negotiators going against the NFLPA. Okay? So normally they're going to win. Think about all the other owners going, Snyder, you don't think we could have all fucking done this, you motherfucker?
Yeah.
Huh? You don't think we all haven't had this thought? You think you're smarter than all of us, you piece of shit? Like, that's how they'll probably be offended that, like, we had talked about doing this to you and we would never do this. Like, this is something that we are in a league together because of it. And this is how the dominoes start to fall quicker, I think, for the NFL saying, hey, Snyder, get the fuck out of here. If that is what the NFL wants to do, and if all of this is true, which I guess we definitely have to put on the end of this entire thing.
But what about with Dan Snyder? So when like the whole revenue sharing thing, he's hiding revenue from, I would imagine he's already bringing in what some of the, he's contributing, hit the percentage of the sales from game day for him has got to be on the low end of the spectrum when you look at the NFL from top to bottom, right?
Well, I don't know. They have a massive.
Yeah, it's huge, but they tarp off the whole top area because it's too big.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing that. Are they doing that?
I'm saying if you have that, they have done that. I don't know if they still do that, but he's already putting in a small amount, I would imagine, and then he's lying about that and even contributing less because he's skimming off the top other money. Like, that's why. Like, how could they not be pissed?
So we've been a part of some rev share situations with people, and I understand it in theory. It's a great idea. I think.
Like what? What kind of rev share have you been a part of?
No, just like in our business, like most people get some sort of rev share too when they get new advertisers, and in this podcast world, they get in there. Whenever you do a rev share, there has to be a lot of transparency. Like, there has to be a lot of transparency, and believe it or not everybody is as transparent, as you would think with all of their books, because if they're not buttoned up completely and you happen to have a guy that understands the numbers pretty well, which we have a goddamn shark in Phil. I mean, Phil is so damn good at what he does, and he knows it, and by the way, we're lucky to have him, but that involves a lot of transparency. There's probably full pitch decks, by the way, that Friedman had to do to the other money people in the rev share situation on how their ticketing's going. This is the amount of money that they made. This is how it's sold. And I would assume that everybody in there is like, well, they're not going to just completely. I mean, that's a lot of shit. That's like running another book is a lot of. I mean, that's a full. You got to do a whole nother full-time job, basically doing that.
A lot of work, a lot of added stress too to your job. I can't imagine.
Yeah. So you would assume that the other NFL owners, though, and their people, their money people, are just assuming that, hey, we're not cooking an entire fake book here. Like you would assume.
You would assume that that's not the case. Yeah.
Yeah, because I would wonder if any of them have enough time to let's go over Washington's numbers again. What did they say they made?
They probably get audited all the time, though, don't they?
Well, the audit would come from the government then, right?
Yeah, but I would imagine a guy like Dan Snyder in Washington, they would choose to audit him as much as they could.
Yeah, but they had a government book, so that one was.
Oh, man. This goes deep. We're going to find out a lot.
Yeah, so this is they have a government book, so the IRS, we know the IRS will dive in and not give a fuck. So we got to have our actual shit there, our P's and Q's.
He's probably like, hey, I don't want to go to jail. I'll go to jail for that. I don't want to mess with them, but I can screw over the other owners.
But our presented books to the NFL are going to be a little bit, just a little different.
I'm sure they justify it. Don't you think he justified all these people getting $4 billion to build a new stadium? I can't even get a new stadium. I got poop pipes burst in. I got nothing. I'm sure he justifies it in his own way.
Yeah, well, or maybe he is just what everybody says.
Yeah, just a huge piece of shit.
Guy.
I would love to know. I would love to know people that know him well and say, what is this dude really like?
Well, it sounds like we do know. Allegedly. A lot of allegedlys, though. I mean, there has been a lot of bam, bam, bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam. This guy stinks. This guy stinks. This guy's the worst. Oh my God, worst human of all time. How the fuck does he have his job? Why is this guy the owner of a team right now that has a lot of fan base? Oh, their entire fans fucking hate him too. Oh, nobody likes this guy. Does anybody like this guy? Nope. He's going to continue to keep cooking the books though and fucking everybody over until he gets his last dollar in his day.
Well, then you look at a guy like Jason Wright too. It's like how like he can't do his job. Like he's not going to be successful. He's
got no shot.
You're fighting this
No.
battle while the fucking owner is screwing over the entire fan base, like right underneath your nose. Like feel bad for him, kind of.
Let's go to the security deposit stuff. Zito said he has a little bit more information on this. According to information and documents obtained by the Oversight Committee, House Oversight Committee, who's doing an investigation, for over a decade, Commanders executives may have withheld millions of dollars in refundable security deposits owed to customers upon the expiration of their multi-year seat leases and may have taken steps to prevent customers from collecting these deposits. According to a former team executive, the Commanders failed to properly refund those security deposits intentionally and took various steps to retain as much of that money as possible. Documents indicate that as of 2016, the team may have retained up to $5 million in deposits from approximately 2,000 different customers. Now they have like a 90,000, I think their stadium holds like 90,000 people. So from 2,000 people, they got about $5 million worth of deposits, allegedly. Now, how do you make it impossible for people to get their security deposits back? Well, there's only one particular way to get paid. You got to go through these hoops. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do that. Probably a few $1,000s from everybody. I mean, we could do some quick math over the years. However, 2,000 people, $5 million, however many years, somebody can figure that out. But to the people that are probably buying these seat leases and buying season tickets, that couple $1,000, I don't want to say it gets forgotten about, but it probably does just become something like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, and I got to do this. They probably just think I'll deal with it later, and they never do. And like Snyder's like probably taking advantage of their emotions there.
Yeah, and who is going to re-up or all of a sudden buy season tickets to Washington now? Like, who is going to become a new fan? You going to pick anybody up?
And what if this? Now listen, what if this is all a lie though? Like, what if Snyder's just sitting there? What? Well, I wish we would have done that. We didn't fucking do that. We just weren't selling it for as much as everybody. Like, what if it is a disgruntled employee, which is what everybody's describing Friedman as, who's the former vice president of the team, who is now, handing basically everything over?
Did he have to speak to whoever the FTC, whoever?
Yeah, like would he be lying to the
right?
committee or to like isn't that a crime?
People have lied before.
For sure. It'd be one thing if this was the only thing ever to come out about Dan Snyder.
Yeah, you're
and be like, oh, this guy's. But I mean, this is a lot.
I would just like to, say that we have to say this is all alleged.
Yeah,
Sure.
Right.
Because they're presenting to the FTC on whether or not to present a case and go for it or not. But Snyder's dead in the water, it sounds like.
Yeah, and this could be like a pretty quick turnaround, right? Because not allegedly, but could they just go to the other owners who are bidding currently on the Broncos and be like, hey, you're not going to get this, but also we're going to put this team up for sale?
No, they would have to open it back up.
Okay.
Because there's probably people, like everybody thought Bezos wanted to own the Washington team because the Washington Post is in there and everything like that. But Bezos probably wants to own a team on a beach. The guy's on a fucking yacht every day.
Yeah.
True.
So I would assume they would open it back up because these teams don't really go up for sale often.
No.
So they'd be able to turn it from a very negative situation, which is what it currently sounds like, into a super positive, like, hey, here we go. We got a new team for sale. But, I mean, they've been trying to get this dude out for, being an asshole for a long time. This one would have to be it, right? But there's a memes on the internet, actually. Dan Snyder does something. Everybody says, oh, they're going to fucking force him to sell a team. Mm-hmm. And then it's like 2 months later, Dan Snyder's sitting above the poop pipe, started bursting, still owning the team.
Yeah.
So, he seems to be like a cockroach, always surviving.
The other owners, I bet the other owners, maybe some of them actually like having Dan Snyder. Like, hey, he takes all the heat. No one comes after us in any decision we make.
Yeah, what if other teams are doing this? Oh, fuck. Hey. One book.
Fix it. Can the NFL own the team?
Huh?
If they can't find like a person to buy right away, can the NFL own it?
So like a purgatory situation before the next owner?
Yeah.
The NBA did that with the Lakers.
The NHL did it with Coyotes. It gets murky though.
Yeah, because then who's making the decision?
Or maybe not the Lakers.
Clippers?
No, whoever rejected
They can always
the
find
Chris
somebody
Paul
to buy
trade.
an NFL team, though.
The Chris Paul trade was rejected because the NBA owned that team at the time.
Well, think about, because Snyder has had his wife go to all these meetings.
Right.
And they tried to pivot away from, it's not Dad's team anymore.
Yeah. his wife's.
It's his wife's team.
Yeah, this is him though, like
There's-
fucking over the other owners, right?
Yes.
Like, there's no way they're just going to be like, it's just Dan. Like at this point, it's.
But we don't know what happens in the one per club meeting. Like we have no idea.
We get Big Jim from Jimmy with the Cold song.
Well, that would also make sense why, with like the previous one, we're like, oh, he's got to be done. Like it was a personal thing with just him. It didn't really affect anyone else in the league other than like, bad PR wise. But they're like, oh, yeah, that's just Snyder being a piece of shit. But when it's something like this, where it's like, oh, no, this directly affects all of us, you would think that they'd be like, all right, let's get this guy the fuck out of here.
Do you think every owner just has a red phone around, and it's ringing right now, and it's Roger Goodell? You motherfuckers. And Jerry Jones like, that son of a bitch is stealing from us. When are we going to fucking sell that thing? And then like Jim Irsay, brothers, I've been telling you, like this is going to be happening. And then fucking David Tepper or whatever, the richest guy. You poor broke bastards, letting this guy do this to you for a decade. Like what? I mean, that conversation, the next conversation by all the owners after all this shit comes out, and maybe they already know all this, by the way. Maybe they've already done the entire, maybe that's what the one per club meeting was. And maybe that's why Mark Davis was so like, I would like everything to come out. Like, we have no idea what the other NFL owners already know about, right? We have no clue.
It would be interesting to see if there had been like suspicions over the years, like, hey man, something's going on there with their books. Like if there was like rumors out there over the years.
Hey, we should have CFO Phil call in right now.
Yeah. Ask him, how do you do this?
Yeah, like how much fucking work? Hey, I'm texting him.
He's running somewhere.
He probably is running right now. He's got a fucking marathon.
But if they sell a name change or what?
I know, right? New brand.
Oh, jeez.
Football team.
I think
football just team. Right back.
Go back.
Football team.
What if they were?
You got to get a new stadium
Hey!
to buy
You
them.
have to go back.
Hey, we're live. Quick question. How hard would it be to run two different books, honestly? Because this is coming out that the Commanders did this. Is this like an immense amount of work and the person that outed them was just sick and tired of all the exhaustion, you think?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, you'd have to have teams of people, I imagine.
No, but they said only a couple people knew about it because of how, how rat bastard.
You want people snitching, yeah.
Yeah. Take that extra money they were stealing and pay the extra people to run the books.
Everybody's paid off.
He's already got fucking money.
Put it back into the business,
All right, appreciate you, dude. Hey, how's it going back there?
If I knew you were live, I wouldn't have answered.
All right, well, you gave us great stuff.
Thank you, Phil.
So that's what Phil's going to do to us later.
Yeah, sounds like it.
All right.
Yeah, he's already got a plan.
Got to reinvest in the company.
He was an accountant, at a accounting firm beforehand. Just low. I mean, he had to do the terrible shit and read through it all. I guess they're like, tax stuff happens in a lot of places. And like money stuff happens in a lot of different places that you wouldn't even expect it or whatever. And it just you never win. Like you always have a little bit of a run, it feels like. Nobody ever wins long term when it comes to the cash stuff, ever. Ever, it feels like.
Don't mess with the IRS, I know that.
Oh, yeah.
So there's got to be something in
Can't
those
mess
emails.
with, can't fuck with the IRS at all, by the way.
Yeah.
People do. People, I'll let them come catch me. Like, good luck. All right. That's
not smart.
Get the fuck. They will.
They will get you.
And how come every person? By the way, I think you and me, maybe because of how lucky we were to get paid the amount of money we were paid at the age we were paid, and in our checks, it lays out exactly where all the money's going. It's like, hey, I know they say follow the money, but like for real, the government is that is literally all they look at, it feels like, as you get older and older. I can't believe Snyder was able to pull this ruse over all the other NFL owners who are supposed to be the most cutthroat business people.
Well, and what do you think? It's just because it's like $5 million in the grand scheme of things. Like you said, like if you're a billionaire, that's probably not something that you're fucking, like, oh, whoa, what's going on here? Like you probably thought it was a small enough amount where it's like, hey, this will just slip through the cracks. No one will ever care.
Well, and the way you can present it is like, yeah, tickets are down a little bit because of everything. We don't have a team name. We don't have a brand. We're in an overturn. The X
20 years.
Like you could, but we're still optimistic about
You're stealing, though. You're stealing from the other owners.
No, absolutely. But I'm saying how they present the fake numbers
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure they had a whole plan on how they. Yeah, obviously it's been working for how many years? 10 years
10
now,
years.
right?
It had to be more than 10 years, though, right? I mean,
Probably.
what happened? Woke up one day in 2012, was like, I'm fucking tired of paying what everybody else is paying. Let's keep this. Like, does that? I guess that does happen. It can happen. Or did somebody present him, say, hey, you know what we could do is, or maybe he saw like a Bernie Madoff documentary,
Maybe Office Space.
That ended well.
maybe saw Office Space.
Yeah.
Maybe saw Office Space. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that maybe he watched that gave him the idea.
Just like a fraction of a penny, right? That they just kept stealing.
Well, that's what phone companies do. That phone companies do that type of shit. A carrier fee will be an extra $2, $2.50 this month, and it's like, oh, is it around the amount? Yeah, it's around the amount. I probably spend a little bit more. I'll use a little bit more, and they're collecting like $2.50 from 20 million people every single month all of a sudden. And that's not going anywhere, by the way. That's the new baseline. And then a couple months later, I think there's another $1.50.
$7.50.
Boom, just bang, bang. They could just kind of scoop it if it's a little bit amount. That's why those, what's that company, like Truebill or whatever?
Yeah.
Yes.
All your subscriptions that you have that are auto pay that they like tell you like, hey, are you sure?
Right.
And it's like, no, get me out of there, because there's like a $2, $3 subscription that you have you don't even think about. And in the NFL, when they're signing $110 billion deals and it's off 7 to 10 million or whatever, and you can just say, well, we're going through these exposés and we don't even have a team name. I assume the NFL is like, all right, yeah, sure. Good luck. Come on, let's get it back together there. And they just move along because these are humans at the end of the day, even though they operate like absolute savages.
Yeah, but whoever buys this Washington team, if they have to sell it, they're gonna somehow get some kind of guarantee for a new stadium, aren't they?
Well, they would have to, and then also that's a good call about them having a new name.
There's already rumors of them building a new stadium or looking at areas.
Well, they have to, right?
FIFA for the World Cup? Is that what you're saying?
Before that even.
So FIFA builds all these stadiums in all these countries, or these countries have to build all these stadiums? Like Qatar right now, are they paying for all those?
I would assume the countries are.
Yeah, it has to be.
Maybe.
Yeah, because they're
FIFA might help them.
They're getting all the business from the World Cup, so you would think they'd be footed with the bill.
All those Olympic places and World Cup places, all those stadiums become literally homes to macaques. Macaques live in them.
Yeah.
Greece. A bunch of homeless people live in Athens now in those stadiums.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, macaques too. They become like jungles. Some of those places.
I would love to see like an abandoned Olympic stadium with a bunch of macaques and see who is the top of the heap.
I've seen it. It's on a documentary somewhere.
Oh, they really did take over one of those old stadiums?
Yeah, like there's like animal kingdoms like in some of these old stadiums, like legit.
They should sell. We
Russia,
should be able to go
maybe?
tour
China?
that.
I forget. Somewhere.
Make some money if we could, get a tour guide and take us through.
Yeah, down in Brazil they have a lot of that as well. Yeah, I think it might have been Brazil actually.
Yeah, for the Olympics.
The Zika got them.
Sochi.
Sochi's also a ghost town. It is.
Tony Geography. Hey, are you ready? We're getting to a break.
Oh, no.
We're getting to a break. And then I feel like we did a good tax, books, Congress, oversight, federal trade committee meeting.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Big takeaway is Dan Snyder's fucked. Say aye.
Aye.
Dan Snyder's not fucked. Opposed. Motion carries. He's fucked, dude.
Yeah. He is fucked.
Look at us just doing that stuff. I wish I had a gavel.
I've never heard anybody defend Dan Snyder.
Ever.
Even diehard Washington fans, one of the first things they ever talk about is Dan Snyder and what kind of job he's doing.
We don't like Dan, but the team. I've been my dad, my father's father. We used to put pig noses on.
That's true. Don't punish the players because you don't like the owner. That's true.
Yeah, that's kind of what they say. But, anyways, we got to pivot to something much more important. It is season 3 of the show that has captivated the sports globe. In 4 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a new season of T4. Be a friend, tell a friend. See you then. got to experience so many things, both as a businessman off the field and on the field. Is there a moment when I ask this question that pops your mind, like, what's the craziest shit you've ever seen in your entire life? Because there was a time there where it felt like you were just getting dropped into insane situations and the world was like watching you do things. Man vs. Wild, you and that Bear Grylls guy, fucking electric. That was maybe the most electric shit I've ever seen. Is there anything that you think of whenever you think, like, what's the most ridiculous thing you've been a part of?
Probably some of the most ridiculous shit I ever been a part of was, you know, I had got the restaurant which I'm in right now, and you know, when we first got it, I would come in here and I would, you know, clean up and go outside in the front, sweep up, you know, make sure everything looked nice and shit. And one morning I got up here and I noticed, you know, like, damn, this is a funky ass smell. And I looked, you know what I mean, to the side of my front door, and it's a big ass pile of shit. And I'm talking about human shit.
Yeah,
and it's right on the side of the door. So I'm like, somebody done came and popped the shit right in front of the door. Like, oh, this shit is crazy. Like, I can't be in here serving food. Motherfucker come walk in and they smelling straight ass cheeks when they come in there. Like, I don't think that's the restaurant I need to eat in. So man, I get the water hose and I'm hosing it down, and you know, I see, you know, we got a couple, you know, dolphins that usually walk back up in front. Hey man, did you do this? Like, oh no. So, you know, one of them owned up to it. I said, look, man, check it out. So you don't do this no more. Look, you come by here, we get you a, you know, what I mean, we get you a broom and you know, you help us, we help you. You feel me? And you know, we put together a little, I put a proposition together for him, and I ain't cleaning up shit no more.
It's a win-win. It's a win for everybody on that one. Hey, one of your former teammates. Yeah, hey, everybody wins. You're helping the people, man. That's awesome. That's why people love you. But hey,
one of them owned up to it. Just a line of questioning. The line of questioning.
His name was Willie. Willie owned up to. Matter of fact, he just left out. He's saying, sweeping up. He like, hey, what's up? Oh boy, I've been looking for you. You feel? Okay. Yeah, we bust down together up in the front of the restaurant to get it all cleaned up and everything.
Hey, you're helping people. Hey, Willie went from shitting outside to working inside. Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go, Willie. Let's go.
Give it up for my boy Willie, man.
Today's show is sponsored by the best ticket app on planet Earth and
the moon.
That's SeatGeek. This is your weekly reminder that watchers and listeners of this show get 10% off at the link in our description at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. The playoffs are here. The NHL playoffs are around the corner. Baseball's going on.
Right.
Concerts are on the horizon. Right. Life is all the way back except for in Philadelphia.
Yes,
thank you. SeatGeek seating chart will make sure you're getting the best value for every possible ticket you can buy. Green means good, red means bad. They scan the entire internet for all the tickets available to the event you are looking to go to. If it is a red next to it, it's like, hey, this is not a good deal, but this is a ticket available. If there's a green next to it, it's, hey, this is a good deal with a good ticket. You will not get catfished. They are fucking the best in the game. Just hit the link in the description next time you want to buy some tickets and get out and live a little bit. You're alive, but are you living? Go live with our friends at SeatGeek.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. We have a boost, I believe, on FanDuel. Right
Ooh.
For 412 Day, we're boosting Sidney Crosby to score 2+ points and the Pens to win over the Islanders.
Whoa.
It is a big boost because the Pens are out without Gino, because Gino put his stick through somebody's mouth the other night and is suspended for 4 games. Sidney Crosby to record 2+ points and the Penguins to win against the Islanders here on 412 Day. It has been boosted to +350.
Wow.
Let's go. Let's get our money back on this 412 Day. Speaking of 412 Days, one of the best Yinzers of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Season 3, Episode 1 of the show that's been captivating the sports globe. T4, Tony Bucket's Tasty Tournament Talk. Hey, Tony, breaking down the NBA playoffs.
Hello, friends. It's here, boys. The NBA, the association, the playoffs. This is the time of year we all wait for the NBA.
You're damn right.
A lot of dads out there. They go, I like watching NCAA over NBA because they don't try. Well, that's not true, and especially not in the playoffs. Especially not in the playoffs.
I mean, guys aren't playing because they broke their fingers, but
That's right.
Yeah, they're sore back. Oh,
but this is the time.
this is the time that
This is
you
the
would
time.
think they play. The play-in tonight, the 7s play the 8 seeds tonight. Tomorrow, the 9s plays the 10. Thursday, we have a day off. And then Friday, the final play-in games. Whoever wins between the 7 and 8 tonight, they're fucking in. Okay, they are the 7 seeds. Starts with the Cavs and the Nets. The Nets are 9.5-point favorites.
Wow.
The Cavs made us all a lot of money to begin the year. They are a young, very, very hot team to start the year. They have been absolutely sexy.
Hot.
They hit all of the top 5 scores are all under 24 years old, 24 and younger. They have been absolute dog shit though, ATS as of late. But the Nets, who are home, I believe, are 2-23 against the spread as a home team in their last 25.
Yeah, but that's different. That was the regular season. This is the playoffs.
That was the regular season. This is the playoffs. In the late game, the Clippers go to the T-Wolves. Clippers have won 6 in a row, I believe. Damn. Mostly correlating with Paul George being back.
PG.
PG being back has been great for the Clippers. Tonight, I think I'm definitely going to take the Clippers plus the 3. 9.5 feels a lot for a playoff play-in game. It really does. The Cavs have been playing terrible, but we'll see. The Nets cannot defend to save their lives. That is their issue. That's been their issue as of late and why they can't cover. Starting tomorrow, Charlotte at Atlanta. That is what we like to call the hype boy fucking wet dream. Okay?
Hype boy.
The Hawks, last year it was everybody's sweetheart. This year with the ball, with Melo. Charlotte's everybody's sweetheart, so we got that game tomorrow. The Hawks are 5-point favorites. They're pretty hot as of late.
Who do you like?
Probably going to lean with the dog in that one as well.
Yeah, he's not from here, dude.
And then, as Ty mentioned earlier, the Spurs go to New Orleans. Jakob Hurtel is playing incredible basketball. The Spurs are also a very hot team.
So that's an actual player in the NBA.
Yeah, big guy.
When I heard you say it earlier, I thought we were doing what we do with other sports, and we don't know players. We just say retired players. Like I always go like Jason Kendall, best fucking baseball player of all time. He's retired, the only player I know. I thought you were doing that. This dude, actual stud.
Oh yeah, Jakob Hurtel, very skilled big man. Very skilled.
Man. He'll get you some rebounds. He'll get you some buckets. I mean, he's a guy down low. Okay. I'm taking all the dogs, I think. Seems like I'm taking all 4 dogs.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was another incredible episode. Season 3 kickoff of T4.
Yeah, Tony!
Thank you, Tony. That was incredible. Maybe your best work yet.
Thank you. Work.
The Masters you seem to be a little bit more invested in.
Mm-hmm.
Seem to care a little bit more.
Yeah.
But basketball's happening.
I like to say that I care about all my children equally.
AJ, is that the case? You're a dad?
Yeah, I'd say that can be the case.
Can be. Whoa.
Oh, you definitely have a favorite.
They all have their pros and cons, but I love them all equally.
My brother was certainly the favorite growing up, for good reason, by the way. People used to say, "Oh, your parents don't have any favorites." It's like, I know mine do, and by the way, rightfully so. I am much more of a problem than he is. I don't know how that would be as a dad. Hopefully, one day I'll get to find out. But honestly, you have to pick favorites. I mean, I'm staring down a potential weekend of having to take care of all these pets.
Oh, yeah.
And I have favorites.
Sure.
Like clear favorites I have. So I don't know how
It's easy to have favorites when it comes to pets. I think it's much more difficult when it comes to kids.
All right. I mean, we'll see.
One of them is a son of a bitch.
Well, that's basically, you just took a shot at somebody.
Well, sometimes, though, that makes them your favorite. Like, if you have a crazy, like, oh, this kid's wild and does crazy things, but that also makes them fun, too. You're like, hey, you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah. You're right. Sure. My mom went to bat with me, for me a lot, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But she had to think to herself, well, I wish this one would have been like the other one. Maybe got a little bit more sleep, and less trouble. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Josh in Wisconsin. What's going on, Josh?
Hey, Pat. How's it going?
Hey, going good there. Hey. Keep it going, hey.
Hey, I'm calling because since the Packers drafted Davante Adams, they're 30-16-1 in their conference. Wow. Since the 2019 season, they're 15-3. So my question is, how unhappy is Davante Adams going to be with Derek Carr when they go 0-6 in the division to miss the playoffs?
Whoa! Josh, you don't think Davante's going to be a difference maker for him over there? You think they're still going to be the worst in the division? What's that all about?
I mean, if Carr can get within 5 yards of his hand, sure, he'll catch the ball, but it's got to get there first.
Oh, so you're a big, hey, Aaron Rodgers is the reason why Davante was Davante guy?
Davante's an animal, and I'll never take away what he did in Green Bay, but the ball's got to be within playable to make a play.
Oh, it's in playable. AJ, your thoughts on it within playable?
That's a good point, though. It's true. We've seen receivers play with stud quarterbacks, then they go somewhere else, and the quarterback's not nearly as good, and you forget about them. Like, it sucks, but their job, the receiver's job, is so dependent on whoever's getting them the ball. So I think Derek Carr is much better than what this caller makes him out to be. So I think Davante's going to be okay, but maybe a little different at first for him.
We have seen also wide receivers go from like not good quarterback to great quarterback, and it's like, holy shit, where has this person been? Oh, he couldn't get in the way of the way there.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? There in the area there. Hey,
I think Derek Carr's underrated.
Me
I'll
too.
say it.
I agree.
Me too. I saw him bounce
Why
back.
is he, though? Why?
Because David Carr stunk.
Probably.
Because every once
That
in a while he
doesn't hurt.
lays an absolute egg as well. Like he went to New York and got crushed by the Giants last year for no reason at all.
Well, and also I think Patrick Mahomes is in his division.
Yeah. It's not as if the Raiders have really like won anything.
Yeah, so that's probably all the reasons why. But I think he's fucking unbelievable.
Josh McDaniels, too. That's got to be a big added bonus for that team.
Whatever he's going to come up with, we'd assume is going to be good. They got weapons. They invested in the team. New city. I mean, it's coming alive. They like Derek. I don't know. It just feels like you're 100% right. He never gets enough credit. For me, I got to see him that year. He was on like an MVP type tear, and then he got hurt on Christmas Eve against us. And I remember the whole week leading up to it was like, hey, this dude's a guy. Like, this is going to be a guy. This is going to be a guy. I remember telling him in warm-ups that game, like, hey, man, you're a guy. I heard you're a guy. Like, I didn't watch film, obviously, like everybody else is, but I heard everybody else talking about it. And he was like super cool, super chill. And then he got hurt. And then that kind of derailed some time. So I think maybe he had a little bit of a recovery period after that. The team turned over a little bit. They moved cities. So, and then we saw him heal his a broken groin in like 8 days. So I think I agree. I like Derek Carr. I think he's good. And that's a hilarious call from Wisconsin. I assume he's a diehard Packers fan. But I bet Derek Carr is very excited that Davante's there as well, because that can happen to the quarterback as well. All of a sudden, you get a lot better when you got a Davante Adams out there. All of a sudden, when Josh Allen gets Stephon Diggs, he becomes a much better quarterback. So, like, there's that's a two-way street in this entire thing.
Yeah, it is. But don't you think Derek Carr is going to have to probably win a Super Bowl to shut people up about him and what he's done?
Everybody, by the way, that's basically going to be.
I mean, that's kind of every quarterback. Yeah, until you get a ring, it's like, okay, if this dude takes the next step? If not, we're always going to look at him this way.
Rich Eisen said when he asked the question to Harbaugh, he said, "In our business," and we say that all the time. And I actually thought about that. Oh, what is our business? We just follow every single day. We follow sports. I've always done this, like via Twitter and everything, so it's not different. There's people that don't follow it every single day that probably, hate what we have to do on a daily basis, which is cover the sport and cover everything that happens around it. But that's if you don't win after a few years, the conversation on the daily sports conversation turns into, but is he ever going to win one? It just automatically comes with the position of quarterback in our business. So I think he's going to have to win, and it seems like the Raiders are going all in for him to fucking win at this point.
Winning a playoff game will also help.
Yeah, that does help. Matthew Stafford, for instance.
Yeah.
Bingo. Matthew Stafford wins one playoff game. It's like, but he won playoff game. Well, then he takes the soul out of Tom Brady and the boys. Yeah, but has he won a Super Bowl yet? And then he won a Super Bowl. It's like, will he be able to do it again?
Now he might be a Hall of Famer.
He will. I think he is, right?
I think so, too.
Don't tell Richard Sherman that.
What?
Richard Sherman was the one that came out after Stafford and said, hey, look, he's not a Hall of Famer.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that when this happened.
I believe it was like right at the end of...
it was right after the Super Bowl.
Right after the Super Bowl, yeah, right at the end of the season.
Really? I trust Richard Sherman's opinion, but also follow-up. He brought a Super Bowl to L.A. L.A. has a lot of glitz and glamour and power in a lot of stuff. I assume he's in just because he won in L.A.
Yeah.
He also is going to end up having he's going to be like top 5 in like every major statistical passing category.
2 of the highest receiving years of all time from Matthew Stafford.
Yep.
He won in L.A. He has a lot of stats. He won he's definitely in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I respect Richard Sherman's opinion, but he's certainly going into the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's not even like a question at this point.
I think so.
I think the L.A. winning is the...
I mean, if you win a Super Bowl. Like that's got to be very close. I know. I know Trent Dilfer won one, but I'm just saying.
But if you have everything else,
yeah, and you're the reason that your team wins the Super Bowl. Like that whole entire drive, they were down, and then he drove down the entire field and scored to go up 3.
Yeah, he's in. I respect Richard Sherman being like, I remember Detroit staff. I don't know if everybody else does. Detroit staff, what an interesting situation over there. Hey, what are they going to do with 2, you think? What is Detroit going to do this year? Are they going to hang it up? Orlovsky was like, maybe we shoot for another top 5 pick next year when there's really good quarterbacks. Just take 17 games off this year.
I mean, I would assume, do you think they want to trade out of that one?
Dan Campbell said they have to get a starter. He said that's what they're going to do. So that would
Dan Campbell also said they were going to chew off kneecaps. I didn't see one fucking patella.
That's a good point.
For dinner.
Wow.
Not one. Well, you guys played during the day, no prime time.
Cardinals game, we kind of ate some kneecaps. I mean, we destroyed the Cardinals.
Oh, that's right. And then that Baltimore Ravens game, there was kneecaps on the ground.
Yeah, Vikings ended the walk-off winner.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm wrong.
So I think we'll get one of those edge guys. Which one? I don't know.
They only won 2 games, but yeah, they'll probably go defense because they went offensive line last year. Go D line this year.
Trevon Walker goes to Jacksonville. Oh, Aiden Hutchinson coming home to the Lions.
Oh,
Wow. Michigan would be so pumped.
Yeah, we've done that before years and years ago. We picked Charles Rogers with the 2nd overall pick, and that one didn't work very well. Michigan guy went to Michigan State, and then he went to Detroit. So that's the only reason that scares me.
Troy Polamalu had more career interceptions than Charles Rogers did career receptions.
Well, Troy Polamalu is ball hawk. Rest in peace?
Yeah, rest in peace.
Man, you feel good
When did
about
he
yourself?
I didn't know he was dead.
I remember watching him, Michigan State against Iowa. Boy, he was a player.
He was so
fucking
good.
Jeff Smoker, and he was just going up and high pointing football.
This is go green, go white guy.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's different. This Aiden Hutchinson's a Michigan man. You know what I mean? He's a Michigan man.
He's got a good head on his shoulders.
Ain't that right, AJ?
Yeah. Is he from Michigan too?
Yeah, I just learned that today. Ty looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I bring that
Detroit.
up.
Lock it in.
Lock it in, number 2 overall
He
pick.
just seems like a Dan Campbell guy, too.
Oh, MCD. Listen, I felt him, now granted, we were able to score it inside there.
Yeah.
When I took a pass to Radio Row. He's got some explosion in those hands.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what, I felt like, Cam Hayward almost put me through a brick wall. Aiden Hutchinson almost put me off stage. Both times we're picking up 10.
Yeah.
So I don't even know. Like, is this a results-oriented business? Or
I'm sure Aiden and old Dan Campbell headbutted a few times in some of their meetings they had.
What if Dan Campbell's calling down the Pete? No, not Pete.
Harbaugh?
Sheila Ford. Yep. Brad Holmes.
Tell you what, man. Need to give a call down to that coach that coached the Eagles to the Super Bowl.
Doug Peterson.
Peterson.
Said Pete.
Jeez.
I thought you were thinking of the GM's name, who's Balky.
Balky, Trent Balky. What if MCDC's calling down to Doug Peterson? Hey, listen, man, we need Aiden Hutchinson in Michigan, man. He's saved our entire thing. You get it, man. This guy. A lot of people saying we look alike in the face. It's been happening a lot on the internet. Every bland white is now somebody that people forget we called this thing an inside draw. Fucking outside. See you later. He's fucking. I gave him that. That's what he's gonna have to learn in the NFL, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, hey, listen.
Savvy vet. You're a savvy vet taking it. Yeah, just a little trick.
MCDC will teach him that stuff. You know what I mean? Aiden Hutchin did a line. Oh my God!
I
hope this happens now.
I think most of Detroit wants it to happen. They want Hutchinson at 2, and they want Ritter at 32, and I think that's a great draft after that.
You guys getting a quarterback with Goff?
I'll take that.
Yeah, I would take it.
Well, and Dan Orlovsky just said, defensive
quarterbacks
coordinators are going to be saying, how the hell are we going to block Aiden Hutchinson one-on-one? So
he said freakazoid, right?
Freakazoid.
Miles Garrett-esque.
Miles Garrett-esque, Dan Orlovsky.
From Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Hey, he seems to say literally all of the right things all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And when I know from watching that dude play in the big house, like when he was wrecking shop, that whole place was juiced. Like that, he could change the momentum of a game very quickly, and it seemed like once he did, it would always just compound itself. Boom! Here's a huge play. Oh, there's another huge play, and you're always just looking for him.
NFL.com made some comps. They said Jared Allen, this guy.
Wow!
Jared Allen.
Holy shit! Awesome.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, this man is the state of Michigan. How do you not take this guy?
Yeah, this guy needs to be a Lion. Let's
go.
Does he want to go to the Lions, though?
How come the Lions don't trade up to 1 to make sure they get Aiden Hutchinson?
Yeah, we don't need to do that.
They should do the NBA thing where like they just tell the Jags to take him, and we'll take whoever you want, and then we'll just switch.
Well, then Jags could just take the other guy.
Huh?
Yeah, they could just take the other guy because there's only one pick in front of the Lions. So, like,
Just could.
maybe MCDC should send a bunch of highlights of, like, Trevon Walker down Doug Peterson's
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Down there. Tim T. I think Doug Peterson bought Tim Tebow's old house. That was right next to Urban Meyer's house.
no.
So I think he's just mailing them right there, and it's just highlights of Trevon Walker just going like, look how good this guy is, man.
This guy's fucking explosive, man. You should take him.
We need Aiden in Michigan, man. Need him he's a key to everything we're doing. Aiden Hutchinson, we never see him again.
Hard Knocks too.
Oh.
You know?
I actually didn't know where I stand, but now I need Aiden Hutchinson in Detroit.
We need him
That
getting
has
two
to
overall.
happen.
It stinks for him. It's probably like a $15 million difference.
Oh, and his whole
massive
life he's
bummer.
been watching the Lions absolutely ruin players. So I'm sure it's the last place on earth he wants to go to. But sorry, pal.
What if Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan went to Michigan, gets drafted number 2 overall to the Lions, and says, I'm not fucking going.
That'd be Equals and Eli, yes.
Joey Burrow to the Bengals.
Yeah.
With a conversation that was happening there. Ohio kid, Joey Burrow, number 1 overall pick, getting $30 million, maybe saying, nah, I'm not going, actually. I thought about it. That's why the draft spectacular is so spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
Never know.
Because if Jacksonville drafts Aiden Hutchinson number 1 overall, they're breaking every person in Michigan's heart.
Yeah.
And we get to experience that live on youtube.com/Deep McAfee Show.
Can't wait.
What a good time, man. What a good time.
Are you dressing up?
Well, we got to figure out what we're doing there. We had a little pre-show meeting about the draft spectacular. You missed it, AJ. We'll have another one for sure.
Zoom me in next time.
Well, you didn't pick up.
Well, didn't somebody
we
somebody
did.
told you, dude.
He didn't.
Yep.
You didn't
We
pick
made the
up.
link.
We had our assistants tell you, bro.
Check your mail.
It's fucking unbelievable. It might have got stuck in the outbox like our.
It's too late now, right?
Oh yeah.
Like our Lamar
like the
Jackson
Lamar.
video.
What did you guys figure out?
We recorded it. We'll send it.
Everything.
Well, we got through phase 0 of
right.
the setup for the draft spectacular, which is something that exists in actual executive world. Okay, I would like to let everybody
big
know.
phase.
It is a big phase.
What is that phase?
Well, that's we haven't done a fucking thing, but we do want to act as if we've thought about it. So we just completed phase 0. We will now move to phase 1. Was said with a straight face to me numerous times, and can we go back, please? After they get through the entire what's going to come.
Just start at 1. Just start at phase 1.
Well, that's kind of what I follow up with.
Is that for Generation Alpha that we learned about?
Well, I don't know if that's that next one, huh?
I think, yeah.
I'm probably in it. You're not.
Beta.
Huh?
You're right. I'm not in that generation. That's like 12-year-olds.
AJ screamed from a food pantry when we were introduced to this Generation Alpha in a super sophisticated, very intelligent conversation that was way over me and AJ's head. AJ had exited the convo actually out of the kitchen, went into the food pantry, which was, pretty far
I
away.
was looking for a snack for about 15 minutes.
And then, he disappeared for 15 minutes. He left me in the Thunderdome all by myself there. But they were talking about all the different generations that we're trying to reach. They were trying to reach, and boom, 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 Generation Alpha. And for the first word I'd heard from AJ in 15 minutes, he screams, "Pass on, part Generation Alpha!" And big pop out of me, obviously. Did not slow down the presentation that was happening at all. AJ thought he got lost in the mix there, but Generation Alpha is on its way to fucking change everything. I think.
Damn.
Yeah, Generation Alpha is going to do it.
They're like the next greatest generation. Is that what they're saying?
What a great fucking generation name.
Yeah.
Too bad they're gonna disappoint.
And then who? Yeah, doesn't Beta come after them?
Well, I don't know if it's just
generation.
Greek letters.
That generation's going to suck if it is.
Alpha, Beta, K to Data.
Okay. Data will be sick.
Oh, Data's on everybody's team.
Yeah, geniuses.
Alpha Data is always on everybody's team. The strongest statistics are on everybody's side of every argument. Still to this day. Don't know how it happens. It's amazing. Because Snyder, by the way, he literally had two different datas that he was running off of. He'll have stats that back up that he was innocent.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow.
Oh, yeah.
There will be some sort of layout from him just completely saying he's not, he didn't do any of this. And if this goes through and this all did happen and they don't force Snyder out, Bruce Brown asked a good question. What does an owner have to do to get fucking forced out? Like if Dan hasn't done it, why is that even in there that it can happen, I think is the next question for Roger Goodell and all the other owners.
Well, it does seem like he's kind of checked every box you can check to try to get your team taken away from you, right?
Yeah, it feels like he's pieced together the entire puzzle of fuckery.
Yeah.
To get himself kind of out of there, but we'll see how it goes. Let's go to Landon in Rock Hill, South Kakalaka. What's going on, Landon?
What's bracking, blood?
Keep it bracket.
Hey, it's right.
So I'm not sure if y'all have seen anything about it, but Tepper has abandoned the practice facility in Rock Hill because these fucking suits here haven't paid for it. So he's told them they can suck my dick from the back.
Whoa,
Jay.
whoa, from the back. The city has it, right? Whoa, that was a great add-in.
Landon, thanks for the description.
I'm going to start using that again.
On WhatsApp,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good luck.
I don't know how many times, it still hits. But the thought that the richest NFL owner said, hey, I paid my half, you guys haven't paid your half, I'll stop this thing. I would assume that's him setting a precedent with the city, like, hey, we made a deal. Even though I'm super wealthy, we made a deal. This is what you're supposed to do. Well, this isn't going to be our relationship for the next 50 years here. Like, let's go and do it. But on the flip side, like all the fans, it's going to be hard for us not to be like, you're the richest dude in the entire NFL. Just fucking finish the facility. Let them pay you back later. Like, that's hard not to say that. It's hard not to do that. But as business, you can't let somebody else fuck you over, especially if you're going to be around each other for 50 years. So that's quite a fine balance there. AJ?
That's why he's the richest owner in the NFL, because he's probably been doing things like this his whole life, like setting the precedent. Like you said, hey, this isn't going to be a one-way street where you just bulldoze me. Like, this needs to be a partnership.
Yeah, because our team is bringing a lot to the city as well. We know that. You know that. That's why this thing even happened. You're not going to be able to do this. I mean, you might have been able to do that to the old owner that had no idea what was going on, just kind of a zombie walking around. Oh, what's going on? Good football. For me, this ain't going to happen. Do you know there was somebody that passed me up on a job and then kind of didn't give me a promotion? And then whenever they got divorced, when that person got divorced and the wife owned his brand new house, I bought that fucking house, tore it down, and built a house double the size. That is who David Tepper is, by the way.
Yeah.
That is the owner of the Panthers. If you think he's just going to let the city, who he made a deal with, do something and tell him no, I feel like he has a lot of spite in him, has a lot of fuck you in him, and he has proven that time and time in the past. You have to respect it as a business person, but it's going to be hard for the fans to understand that, I think.
Yeah, and there's a reason these guys are billionaires, because they don't waste money. They never have wasted money. Like, that's what they've been doing their whole life.
But also, with that being said, like, if I'm the NFLPA, I'm on the horn with the NFL right now. I'm saying we would like to go back to the negotiating table because you guys have been withholding money from us, because money's been withheld from you. And also, you guys try to bully us all the time. You're getting fucking robbed from your own guys. Why don't you take care of your own house before you even talk to us? This is good leverage for the NFLPA. They should think about going in there right now.
Yeah, the NFL is going to try to do whatever they possibly can to keep this as quiet as possible and have other things take the attention away.
I'm sure we won't talk about it.
The NFL is in such a good spot. All we can do is mess it up. So there's like, hey, guys, let's just get out of our own way.
I feel like he has to, if he doesn't have to sell the team now,
quietly push him out.
What does he have to do, though? Like, what does he have to do to get there?
Yeah.
Who knows? It's an exciting time for the NFL because we're probably going to have new money in there, but also a terrible time if you were a fan that got bamboozled. An entire agreement that took place. I'm sure there's marketing and advertising numbers that were being fluctuated with.
Oh, yeah.
Let alone everything else. People got fucked over, but we're realizing hopefully it's for the better good. New
That's
ownership in Washington, D.C.
Hell yeah.
Someday. Tyler Perry, maybe.
There you go.
Maybe. Chris Mad Dog Russo's on the other side. Maybe him. Guy's been a legend on the air for like 30 years. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. That's a wild scene, dude.
Insane.
Honestly, because they're robbing from within. You
Yeah.
never see any. The NFL is always like this. Always. Every negotiation, every deal. Even though there's probably a lot of yelling and there's a little bit of discontent, and I assume not everybody agrees with everything, the NFL is always 100% vote. You'll see like the NFLPA on a new CPA, it'll be like, well, 51% to 49%. And the NFL knows, like, oh, all those players are pissed. Okay, so we can just take advantage of whatever. The NFL, 100% yes, 100% no. Always has been, always will be. Now they got somebody from within allegedly stealing from them. I'll be excited to see how they respond to this entire thing and who gets into the game. Also would like to let you know, speaking of in the game, there's a play-in game, same game parlay, 50% refund bonus thing.
Oh, yeah.
Happening tonight and tomorrow and Friday. For the NBA play-in games here, if you hit a same-game parlay, a collection of same-game parlays, $20, you get $10 back, $50, you get $25 back, $100 worth of same-game parlays on all these NBA games over the next 4 days, you get $50 back. If you go all the way up to $200 on same-game parlays, you get $100 back, but that is the max. So if you go on the next 2 nights, there's how many games? Four games. You go $25 same game parlay on each game. That'd be $100. You get $50 back regardless, and you might hit for fucking whatever same game parlays at FanDuel right now.
Sounds good. I didn't really hear any of that, but it sounds like an amazing opportunity.
Well, fucking clean your ears out then, you moron.
There's just a lot of numbers thrown around. Sometimes
Same
I hear
as
numbers,
wild card week.
Okay, so you get 50% back. You get 50% back on your NBA play-in games, same game parlays. Up to $100 back, so up to $200 in same game parlays. So you
free money.
Yes, you're getting that back. Yeah. Yes.
It's a great deal.
For instance, tonight, like Kevin Durant probably going to go off, right?
He's going to score what, 48? You think?
I don't know. What's his over/under right now?
On it.
It's probably like 30.
Yeah, it's probably right around there.
31 and a half.
31 and a half. He's going to go over because this game matters. The Nets are going to win, probably not by 9.5. You can probably also get Kyrie Irving in there. He's going to cook. This is a big-time game for him. He's had a lot of people back there. I don't know what that will probably be as a same-game parlay.
So if we go money line plus KD over 31 and a half and Kyrie over 28 and a half, it's plus 324.
Plus 324, and let's say you put $50 on that, you're going to get $25 back regardless.
Boom.
Boom. And that could hit for 150.
Hell yeah.
But I heard someone say earlier the Nets are terrible at defense. Ben Simmons is a defensive monster. Is he going to play ever?
No. He's not playing game 3 of the Celtics series if they get in.
Is that really a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If they win tonight, they play. If they win tonight, they play the Celtics in the first round. And Sham said a week from today.
Yeah, it won't be games 1 or games 2. They said.
So he knows he's about a week out.
Yeah, which is interesting because we see him shooting and running and everything.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Just like Zion.
But also like basketball shape. Like if he's got a bad back and he can't run like the 5-on-5s, then how long will he actually be able to play like a full game?
Yeah, but who cares, right? If they give him like 10 minutes.
No, to him, he'll probably play 2 minutes and be like, oh, my back hurts.
Is that an accent? Because he's from Australia?
Yeah.
All right.
You know Mel Gibson's from Australia?
Hell yeah.
Really?
So is Keith Urban.
Hey,
Well, yeah, Keith has an accent pretty strong. Mel got rid of his.
Yeah, but Keith got rid of his when he was singing, too. He became straight off the farm. So
Is anyone singing an accent, though?
Adele.
Yeah.
Country singers do.
Yeah, but normally...
Yeah.
It's like when actors yell. If you're faking an accent in a movie, it's hard to yell in an accent. Like Forrest Gump, he tries to yell. It sounds like Tom Hanks.
Oh, can you yell? What's your best accent? We heard your English one when you did the Queen. You got a Southern one?
I'm not really good at it.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are. You're very good when he was the Queen.
English one was unbelievable.
The Queen was unbelievable.
Yeah, spot on.
When did you learn the English accent? Was that just something you picked up?
That's just something I like to dabble with every once in a while. I like to study people and how they speak.
Did you watch The Crown?
I did watch The Crown. That was a history lesson for me. That was good.
All the seasons, or did you quit whenever that one queen quit? Because I couldn't take the new queen.
That didn't bother me because I understood that it started out when the queen was very young, and so as she gets older, I understood, hey, you got to replace her with an older actor.
Yeah, but can we just put some makeup on? I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
We made what's his face 10 feet tall with those shoes.
Robert De Niro.
You know what I
It looked
mean?
great. Looked great in that
They
movie
made
when they
Al
CGI'd their
younger.
face to make him younger. It looked
Yeah.
really good.
Don't.
What's your deal?
They spent
did.
$600 million on that
film.
movie, too.
Well, listen,
film.
they're making money.
Yeah.
Somebody's making money out there. Hey, AJ, how would you grade this particular English accent if Jim Raj had to walk in there and do a full, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Curtsy. Hey, we're bringing a big sports stooge thing over here. Is that okay? Yep, deal. Perfect. Let's get some tea. Let's get the fuck out of here. How do you think that went between Raj and the Queen? You think she liked them?
Yeah. I bet she liked him. She probably knows a lot. Like, what if she's sitting there and then all of a sudden she's like, so what about the Sean Watson situation? What about the Sean Watson situation? What about the Sean Watson situation? Huh? Nailed it.
Still slaps.
It was exactly 13 months ago.
The thing of it, happy 13-month anniversary to that clip.
Congrats, AJ.
And I shaved my face.
I was just saying.
Yeah.
The AJ.
What's up? I'm glad I could pay tribute to the Queen and Harry and Meghan Markle, even if they disbanded themselves.
No, they're not. Yeah, they're not part of it, dude.
Don't you dare.
Come on.
You can talk about the Prince, too, dude? What, are you going to get into that?
Yeah, your guy
Harry,
Prince.
what do you mean,
Andrew.
Harry?
Bro. You
He
just
named his kid after his mom. Come on now.
Yeah, but you would never. There's another accent. You normally would never do that. So you just doing that out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would I not do that? What do you mean? You don't know the accents I do.
We do. We talk to you every fucking day, basically.
Yeah.
So like that wouldn't.
I mean, it was organic in the moment. That's what it was.
Orgasmic.
I think that's why we love you so much.
I was genuinely curious, like what the Queen would ask.
I think that's going on the walk-in wall of moments for our show when you go into the igloo. We're building
The
up.
walk-in wall. What is that?
Like when you walk in, it's going to be like you're walking through like a Hall of Fame for our show of moments.
Can you put up at least a screen grab of you with the at-bat against Jet?
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be in there.
That'll be in there.
It'll be all digital. It'll be like digital.
NFTs, bro.
No, yeah.
Another accent.
Yeah, that was super.
It's gonna be videos.
Super.
Keep track.
It's gonna be like those photo frames that have like things that
They can run like on.
Yeah.
You can Wi-Fi different pictures to them all the time.
Like the RV at MetLife Stadium is gonna have a pretty good. That's gonna have a pretty good little spot on there. You know what I mean? Just all the moments from the history. Draft spectacular, I assume.
Yeah, God damn it.
Yeah, multiples.
Maybe Ty's reaction about Billy Horschel a couple days ago.
Nah, I don't know if that's gonna make the cut.
I mean, we got to have some sort of respect for the wall.
Yeah.
You know.
You pooping out the football celebration?
Yeah, that was a good one. When you fucking just murdered my desk.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
So are you gonna have that desk at the Igloo?
Well, believe it or not, there's some people trying to take advantage of knowing how much money we have at the current moment. So I was pitched actually like this very reasonable, like $17,000 desk. You know what I mean?
Must be pretty sweet.
Very reasonable. How heavy is it? Oh, it's heavier than a baby grand piano or whatever. So we can never move it. Okay. Yeah, but it's a really nice piece or whatever.
You love it.
So I don't even know if I have the desk yet, to be honest with you. That has been a conversation piece.
I got a guy if you need one.
You got a desk guy?
Yeah, back in Berg.
I got
We
some
do
guys.
got a desk guy.
You know him.
He's good. He's a YouTube guy.
Yeah.
Ooh. We like dude too.
Yeah, we just have
I got some Amish dudes here that'll build you a good one.
Well, Tim does. Yeah, Tim was very frustrated with the entire thing. He's like, we ain't paying. No way are we paying that amount for a fucking desk. No way are we doing that. But with that being said, I don't believe this desk is making the cut to the new place.
On the last show here, well, you saw that in half with like a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Put it somewhere. You could put it somewhere at the Igloo, don't you think?
We should like maybe hang it like maybe off the wall.
Yeah.
Ooh, like a Fridays.
Or like a
Artifacts
car
from the
that
show.
comes in.
Yeah,
Should we
yeah.
glue all the stuff
Like
on
a
top of
Quaker
it?
steak and lube.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hire somebody to spray this thing down with glue and keep this. So
No,
it's
you
just
just pour a bunch of epoxy resin all over top
Can't
of
do
that.
that.
It'll just crystallize just like that.
all right. How's the asbestos with that? Pretty good.
Pretty good, actually.
It's a big glass
That's not
case.
epoxy resin.
Hello. Used that phone twice today. Felt real good about it.
Is there any stained glass at the Igloo?
No church stuff.
I like stained glass though.
Okay, there's not really any windows though.
Yeah, they didn't have that in like the original.
The igloo is
No.
Is there a basement?
there is parts downstairs. Yeah.
It's just like storage,
Also
or
a
you
bat cave.
Yeah, we don't
Make it
know.
up.
There's storage down there, but then there's also like they've been trying to. I don't know if they had the hangers or how they exactly did it. They had like some sets. I guess there's something. There's something. Like we might be sitting on. I don't know if we just got a bunch of oil.
Yeah.
I don't know what they.
What do you mean? What tells you that?
They
Massive
did,
structure, right?
Yeah,
That's
they
like the
did
words.
some sort of
Land survey.
thing.
In the basement or out in the yard?
No, it's down. It's like down and out a little bit. I'm like, is that a hole? Like, is that thing just gonna collapse? Or?
Is it a bunker?
Might be a
That's what they're
bunker.
saying.
Maybe.
Bat cave.
But I'm just holding out hope that it's just oil.
Yeah.
So like
Buried treasure.
the igloo is cool and all, but we will take that fucker down and just,
Yeah.
you know,
Put a fucking big old rigger on the outside of it.
yeah, we'll cover it up with us so it looks nice, you know, because we want the neighbors to not be mad.
Right.
But also we will just be pumping out Jerry Jones money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the Washington.
If it's legal, by the way, we want to help
Sure,
society.
sure.
However, we'll do it is help society
Yeah.
as much as
No
possible.
fracking.
Yeah, we will save the world.
Only one book.
We want to get that oil out of the earth. Look how disgusting it is.
Oh, yeah. For America.
That sludge.
You kidding me?
Yeah. Oh my God, get it out of there.
Right in my
Probably
car.
ruining the water supply around here.
How come that is never talked about?
I don't know.
That's probably not the case, huh?
I guess
I think we're
not.
probably wrong.
Fucking
Wow.
BP ruined it.
I don't think it's any oil, by the way. I was talking to a rock person, a rockologist.
What'd they say?
You said canyons and caverns.
Hey, what does Bechtold do?
Geology.
He's a proctologist.
He's a geologist, but he does like a rockologist. Yeah, he does land surveys to figure out whether or not there would be natural gas or whatever if it has the makings to be a place where I don't think Indiana has any of that. I don't think.
Damn.
which is a shame.
Not yet.
Ohio does.
Really, natural gas or oil?
Like they did. It was big. I mean, natural gas stuff has died down, but like I think like northeast Ohio was having people. You know, they would come to their house and pay them money to eventually like have the rights to drill on their land if they want for natural gas?
Yeah, that natural gas really took over. I think like Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia as well there for a while. There was a rumor that James Harrison owned some natural gas. I actually asked him about it. He said, no, I have other business investments, so I don't have that. I was like, oh, I heard you were like a natural gas mogul, dude. Yeah, that's what I heard. Came out of nowhere. What do we need now? What does the world need now?
Solar panels.
Everything.
Bro.
Yeah, those big windmill things.
I fly over a lot of those things.
Yeah.
Put a couple of those up.
Need more.
Those things are always broken.
Or maybe the wind just
kill a lot of birds too.
Water turbines.
Hey, you kill a bird on this FanDuel face-off thing. You know, you Randy Johnson, you get an extra 5 seconds.
Yeah. That is huge.
Yeah, it is.
Fucking huge.
The time is a big deal. You got to add
Hey, but
time.
when, you know when Randy Johnson did that, they said he was like all torn up about it. Like it bothered him.
yeah.
Who said that?
He was
I
rattled.
don't know.
And what Randy did
Randy
say.
Johnson didn't give a fuck. Kidding me?
He was rattled.
No way, dude.
He struck out 22 his next outing.
Yeah.
That's because he was all distraught.
It would have been 27 if he wasn't so.
Bro, he's
In
not a
honor
killer.
of the bird.
He's not a killer, dude. Don't
That bird
push him.
should count as an extra K as well.
He's a photographer, man. You know that.
Now he is. You remember? Yeah, you remember when he was a Yankee? Some photographer got too close to his face. He, get the fuck out of my face.
That just happened with Cristiano Ronaldo, I think. Something happened with camera stuff.
Smack the phone, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Speaking of K for kill, for the bird, Nick, you just said it made me think of something. Have you seen this 14-year-old kid on Twitch? Every time he gets a kill, he sets off a flare in his room.
No. Can I see it?
It's amazing. Zito's going to look it up. This dude is the next whatever. He is maybe the most electric kid I've ever seen in my life. Definitely a fire hazard. Might burn his house down. I'm not 100% sure how sustainable this particular segment is, but whatever he thinks of next is going to be great. I got faith in this 14-year-old kid maybe being the next big thing in the whole video game, maybe just content game world as a whole. Set up his entire bedroom. A full rave happens every time he kills somebody. Yeah. And fire shoots out of the top like fucking Kane in the WWE. Is setting this thing. Look at this. This kid. Look at that. He's got a fucking torch back here. And then bam, 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 bam.
Holy shit.
This fucking kid. I love this kid. I don't know who he is. I want to be friends with him.
What a weapon.
He's got full pyro in his room.
Yeah. Absolutely, dude.
I mean, the light show.
It's unbelievable. And he's probably dead at this point, right? He can't be celebrating one kill at this point. He hits a button, too. He's deciding how many fires.
Oh, yeah.
Fired up.
Bam, 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 bam,
Kill
bam,
tactical.
bam, 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 bam. Run the rave, run the rave.
Where, do we know where he is?
New Amsterdam.
Is he a foreign guy?
Maybe just Amsterdam.
50 years in the future.
Whatever he is, he's on the right path, I think. Keep going, bub. Keep going.
Nice job, Rave.
All right, Hammer Don's at 3:30. You're going to talk about the same game parlay 50% refund thing in a better fashion than I did because AJ got lost in the middle of it.
I don't think I can do it better than you, but I will talk about it.
Yeah, AJ's a sack of bricks. That's why he didn't get it.
What's that all
Numbers.
about? This guy graduated from college, didn't you?
CT's
That's right. Yeah, man. I told you I'm fully aware. Numbers are not my thing. And once you start talking numbers, zone out for sure.
Oh, you're shutting it down. Hey, I'm not going to know what you're saying anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and not waste any energy because there's other memories I'd like to keep in my brain and not have this one kind of push out.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Sack of bricks.
Yeah, you got to know your strengths and weaknesses, right?
Hey, yeah, absolutely. It's very good self-awareness. That's a massive part of it all. Did you graduate, or you made a donation, they put you in the Hall of Fame, and you became a doctor?
Now, unfortunately, you can't do the old pay your way to get a graduation. I actually did it.
Congrats, man. We saw you in the Hall of Fame, too. Got a brick.
Hey, is Goompy wrestling now?
No, that's
Ciampa, dude.
Ciampa?
Congratulations making the Raw roster, Ciampa. Jeez.
He
Hey,
looks awesome.
Tommaso,
Looks
congrats.
like
Yeah, they're brothers.
What'd you say?
he looks just like Goomp.
It's like Ezekiel and
Elias.
yeah.
Elias is Ezekiel's older brother.
I would like
Did
to
they find
say,
the other one?
well, we're still looking. There's a lie detector test coming next Raw.
That's right.
What?
I'd like to say
Are you serious?
Kevin Owens is asking a lot of real questions.
He is.
Kevin Owens, am I the only one that is Elias with a shaved beard? He
I'm
said
worried
that.
about KO. I think he's losing
Yeah,
his
he
mind.
never learns. Wasn't it enough getting
Love it,
stunned?
man.
They're together.
They're vastly different. Vastly different people.
Clearly brothers.
Elias is bigger.
Definitely same womb. We get it.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know, we absolutely get it. But Ezekiel and Elias, two very different people.
Yeah,
What?
I know. It's amazing how much they look alike. So maybe they'll have to wait till next WrestleMania to see them together wrestling.
No, well, we don't know how it's all going to pan out, but we do know Monday Night Raw, lie detector test for Ezekiel. Are you who we thought you were? You know what I mean?
Is Kevin Owens doing this for him? Like he's going to put him through a lie detector?
I hope so. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
KO
probably a
show?
KO show,
Want
dude.
some answers?
Maury,
Well, it's not.
That's
Maury
Ty's
got
guy.
canceled.
Yeah, that was Ty's guy.
Those aren't admissible. So
I mean, I don't.
Not
You know,
in court, but
I
you
love
know,
KO.
in
Sure.
WWE they are.
if
for
they
sure.
don't, if they don't work,
Probably
in court,
just
then-
wants to steal a move from Ezekiel.
Whoa! What is this guy's problem?
Come on.
I didn't do a single move of my own either.
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
You cocked your
You
leg.
did the Swan-Tony bomb. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Swantonio.
You did do the
Yeah.
Swantonio.
I did do the Swantonio.
Yeah.
Different move.
I should do that every time. If I ever get back in the ring, I should absolutely.
No, when you step up, when you stand up on the turnbuckle like Stone Cold, that's what you do with both hands.
No.
To all four corners.
No, you think I should when I come out?
That's your thing, yeah. Just like Stone Cold flicking them off.
I don't know because if I
I
have,
would love it. I would really.
bro,
I
if
would
I
get a
have
kick out of it.
if I have the Swantonio,
Swantonio.
Yeah.
if I had the Swantonio Bombini, if I had the Swantonio Bombini that I did every single, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
I have Swantonio Bombini. I think I found it when I lost my pinky ring, by the way. It was on during the suplexes that he did to me. So I think the one where I gave him one, maybe. Because he tried to do 3 of those on me.
Yeah, he did.
What are you kidding
Talking
me?
about Theory?
Yeah, Theory. Yeah.
Cursed it on him.
Yeah, lost his
You
first
see
name.
me. You know I check up on it.
Hey, you do. You keep up with Theory, huh?
Yeah.
My theory is I beat Austin off him.
That you beat Austin off, you're right. Is that what you said? You said you beat Austin off of it, right?
Off of his name, dude.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Let's get to a break. I'm just going to answer more phone calls, but
Why are you stop and look at me like that? That's what you said.
why are you such a child? Maybe I did, but
Okay, I'm sorry that I asked what the viewers and listeners would want to ask. We couldn't just go right by that.
Well, listen, I feel like we've learned a lot today, okay? We've said some unfortunate things, and now we must go on like a 19-hour and 45-minute break.
Yeah.
Really regather ourselves and have a better show tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
And let's beat off tomorrow as well.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm all in.
All right, let's do it. Sound like a plan, AJ?
I tell you what, I didn't know you were going to end this with such inspiration, but thank you for that.
Well, the Swantonio Bombini really took me to another level.
Enlightened place.
Man. When I flip, I did the Jeff Hardy almost.
Oh, yeah.
But I had peace sign out there. I need to flip and do.
Oh, yeah.
This.
Yeah. Oh, man. Me and bro San Martino doing a lot for the Italians.
That's right. Goddamn right.
We're going to be pumped about it. Happy 412 day. Ton Digs and Hammer Down started like probably 3:35. Stream will start at 3:30. That's Hockey Talk tomorrow night. Has Marc-Andre Fleury, so go ahead and put that into your schedule. That'd be fantastic. He plays for Minnesota Wild now, which is a team in the NHL.
That's right. That's right.
Our team in the NHL. He is obviously should have went back to the Penguins. He's now in the Wild. I assume the Wild's going to win the Stanley Cup now because they have him on the team. He'll be joining That's Hockey Talk tomorrow night. What a good booking here.
Yeah,
Nick.
great.
This is huge.
Yeah, shout out to Rupper, man. Rupper kills it with the bookings. He does an incredible job.
Are you going Stanley Cup champion Mike Rupp, co-host of That's Hockey Talk every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. at youtube.com/That's Hockey Talk alongside Goop and Nick. Are you going to ask him about refusing to score and missing out on a $100,000 donation to his foundation that I promised?
Absolutely. It's kind of troublesome that he wouldn't want to help out the people in the foundation. He adamantly refused to score after that. It was troubling to watch.
So how many games are left in the season? A lot or not a lot?
8, 9, 10, depending on which team you are.
All right, tell him we'll give $250,000 to a foundation of his choosing if he scores a fucking goal in a game for the rest of the season. All right, will you relay that message to him?
Happily.
Does he have any goals?
No.
No.
He went for it once, right?
No,
Last
he
year?
hit the fucking post last year, I think, on one. He went for it a couple different times.
Okay.
It's not easy for a goalie to score because you got to get it up over everybody. It has to be an empty net, and you have to keep it straight. You see people at those intermission try to slide a puck into the net. That's hard to keep it straight.
Oh, yeah.
Let alone with a fucking goalie stick.
He's been trying for 20 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched Happy Gilmore with my kids last night, and I saw Happy went on that date with old girl, and she slapped one in from half court.
Yeah, but she was super talented. She grew up around that. You know what I mean?
That's true.
She was. And how about that way that guy sang on that date too?
Yep,
so good. I forgot how awesome Happy Gilmore is. I'm not joking. Watched with my 3 boys. They laughed like Bobby Carpenter laughs at movies, like knee slapping funny the whole time. It was awesome.
Seems like Bobby Carpenter just took a shot.
Jeez, no, it's not a shot. Me and Bob talk about it all the time. Like I was like, Bob, I wish things were knee slapping funny to me like they are to you.
Oh, Bob has a good time. Oh,
Bob has a great time with it. I'm like, man, I wish I got this much joy out of this movie.
There's been a couple movies that have got me crying a couple times. And
I laughed out loud at Jackass, the new one.
I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that. I need to watch that. I mean, I saw Pontius's cheeks. They look better than ever.
Yeah.
They're right in front of me there. I watched A Star is Born the other night.
Ooh, classic.
Fucking really good movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he kills himself, right?
All right.
Jesus Christ.
We're back tomorrow.
I haven't seen the movie. I don't want to see it.
All right, it's a great movie.
Jesus.
Son of a bitch.
Does he kill himself like kill himself or just through drugs and alcohol?
Watch it. Just watch the fucking movie.
I have no desire to watch it.
It's a great movie. You should watch it.
I'm not going to watch. We did this like 6 months ago. I'm not going to watch it, but it's all right.
We
should
never
watch
did this.
it.
That was a different show you were on.
Andrew Dice Clay's in it. You should watch it.
Yeah,
Great guy.
Dice Man?
Sam Elliott.
AJ, it's a good movie, but you know he's going to kill himself within the first 5 seconds.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean,
That's my issue.
he has one of the best lines of all time. Sir, I don't think this place is for you. They serve alcohol in here? Yeah, it's for me. That's such a good line. Like, he has a little bit of a booze problem, but he's just a megastar.
little bit.
Yeah,
Who
it's about
cares?
2 hours of just waiting for this guy to kill himself.
Whoa, there's music, dude.
I'm telling you, that's why I didn't like it as much. It's a great movie, though.
It's a good love story.
How was Lady Gaga though? Didn't she win an award?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They all should have.
Lady Gaga crushed it.
Yeah, she did.
The way it was shot was very well done, too, by the way.
The movie did
The whole
ruin their
story.
marriages, though, too.
What's that?
I thought Gaga wasn't married.
So the movie did
No,
ruin
because
their
everybody
marriages.
said Bradley Cooper and Gaga were going to get together, and they did not at all.
No, but they both ended their relationship, so.
Yeah, could have been an emotional affair.
Let me get another look at you. He does say that to her. So
A couple times.
Oh, yeah, whenever she leaves the car to go into the house.
yeah.
And at the end.
Tell me something, girl. It's a good, hey, Bradley
It's a good
Cooper.
song.
A lot of jams.
A lot of jams. A lot of good songs in there. You know, even a pop song or two in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really goes well. That was a good song.
Seems sad. Seems like the whole movie seems sad.
The rock one that opens the movie is a banger of a song.
Yeah. All right. Bradley Cooper can really fucking do it on a guitar, too.
Hell
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They wrote that out.
He has a lot of guitar solos in there.
Is it really him playing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. And singing.
I mean, we know he is a stud actor. Absolutely. Philly guy too.
Georgetown guy.
You're a scumbag.
What's that?
He's a
He
scumbag.
went to Georgetown.
You are.
Why?
Why are you saying he's a scumbag?
What did Bradley Cooper do that I don't know about?
Well, no. You are a scumbag for saying all these great things about him, but refusing to watch his art.
Well, I watch a lot of his art, but this art just doesn't pique my interest for some reason.
It's a good one. You should watch it, man. Have a good time. All right. You also watch Hammered Down as well. Happy 412 Day. AJ, he does die at the end. Okay? So way to go.
It doesn't change. People need to get over spoilers. It doesn't change anything. It can
All
still
right,
be a great
dude.
movie.
Okay.
All right. Hey, spoiler, too. Commander's probably going to be up for sale. I mean, spoiler. I mean, we can do this all day if you want to, I guess. All right. We're back tomorrow. Hammered Down's in like 10, 15 minutes. You all are the best people on earth. See you tomorrow, Winning Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I think we have a couple big guests tomorrow.
Let's go.
I don't know. Do we?
I think so.
Maybe.
Will Smith.
All Jermaine. Ooh.
Really?
After a big
Yeah.
win at UFC, I believe we'll have. We'll reach out to Will Smith, see if he wants to do his first talk.
Ezekiel?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, we do have another one too. Sorry.
Who?
Isn't
Oh, no. Yeah, surprise. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys are the best. AJ, really good toxic stuff today out of you, honestly.
Thank you. I need to know who that surprise is.
You'll see. You'll be surprised too.
Yeah.
See you, everybody. Goodbye.